It's fucking going right now.
Yes, it is.
Okay, well, while you're messing with that, I got a question just for some shits and giggles.
What you
When it
got?
comes to this Ian Gary fight with Jeff Neal, I really don't like his camp stuff of Ian Gary. Like, why the fuck can't he ever find a coach? And now all of a sudden he's with fucking Charles Oliveira.
He
It's
did
because
find a coach. That's going to be his full-time coach, I heard. He's out there.
I know, but do you
He's
think
out
it's
there
going to work?
permanently.
Do you think it's going to actually work? He seems kind of weird in that.
yeah.
I mean,
How long
it does kind of feel weird. I won't lie to you. It kind of does feel weird, but like at the same time, like they might actually keep his ass in check over there, bro, because they don't deal with that shit. They got a pretty tight camp over there.
So what you're saying is he can't bring cameras around anymore.
Shit, I don't know their rules. I just know that he
I mean, he's
probably
still
won't.
on
They
a,
won't let him break that
but
chemistry over
isn't he
there. They'll
already
kick
on
his
a
ass
leash?
out.
Well, that's kind of listen. Neither would Leon Edwards camp, right? That's why he is where he is. Like that. Neither would Leon Edwards camp.
But
Usman, what you
I
got?
think
Yeah, no, it does seem like a bad thing that he gets kicked out of fucking camps all the time. But I've always thought, like, for these younger cats, man, it's really good to fucking go out there and train with everybody. Don't get stuck in the same fucking training rooms with like getting a lot of different looks. So it might be for the worst possible reasons, but he's getting a lot of different looks from a lot of different coaches, a lot of different knowledge.
Yeah, I just wanted to add real quick too. I think the thing with him over here with Charles Oliveira's camp too, I think it's actually a good thing for Ian Gary in a sense because he's already a really good striker, and you can always improve in different areas of your game, no matter how good you are. But um, he's going to get a lot of work in like doing jiu-jitsu and wrestling, just groundwork stuff over here that maybe he wasn't necessarily putting all his attention to because that's what they're known for over there. So it
So that
could be a
means
good thing
his
for him.
manager / wife's ex-husband like made a good decision and got him into a good camp, and how much we think they're
His
cucks.
wife is his
Well,
manager.
They're actually
so
smart.
so I would say the problem that Ian Gary is going to face is that he intentionally takes what they call the nomadic approach. Like everywhere he goes and everything he does, he looks at himself as like a nomad, like this individual. So what I would foresee happening is eventually the entire gym notices that he's just trying to pick up on their tendencies, pick up on coaching tendencies, pick up on the things that they all do so that he can gain an edge on everybody in the gym when that's not really supposed to be the culture, and he'll probably get booted. That's just my guess, because I listened when we were covering that. I listened to everything I could find. There were the 2 interviews, but then you could go find coaches that had mentioned him in interviews before, and then Ian did an interview about getting kicked out of a camp. Like he's had a problem with having that. He's used the word nomad or nomadic, so like he's had that problem. So I'm just assuming he'll have it again. We've got
I
Ian
mean, he's a
Gary
drama
brought up.
queen.
He was on the hot topic list today. Um,
Ooh.
Here, so Rampage was on the Ariel Hawani show. Full credit, Ariel. This is a small audio clip, Ariel. You play audio clips. Don't fucking shut us down. But Rampage was on Ariel's show, and he mentioned Ian. Now, this is all recent. This is like within the past week. I bring it up because Ian's got a fight, and you know how I feel about guys that are getting shook personally right before a fight. So this is what Rampage said.
We already had somebody decline because they said I was going to make fun of them, but I haven't been really making fun of them.
Who was it? Who was the sensitive salad?
Honestly, I can't remember his name. They declined. But I think it was that guy that what's his name? Ian. I think they finally got him on. He didn't want to come in first. What's his name? Ian the Cock.
I don't know. Ian McCall?
Ian the cock. I love
Ian
it.
with the white shirt.
Come. Ian.
So he was referencing Ian Gary and took a shot at him, saying that Ian Gary didn't go on his podcast because
Dude,
He was
my fucking signature Rampage photo that I have just went up in value just from that. Like no one can buy it from me
so
now just from that.
so no big deal that Rampage said that, but leading up to
Because that's
fight
his
camp,
rampage.
leading up to fight camp, it still got Ian Gary's attention. And this is a clip from that I found 99 fucking places on the internet. Credit to Ian Gary for putting it out. But Ian Gary had to take the socials and respond.
Quentin Rampage Jackson went on Ariel last night and spoke about how I turned down his podcast because I was afraid of being made fun of. I've got the cunt on Monday of fight week. I've got him in like 4 days. I'm on his podcast. And he goes on, he calls me a cook, and he's Ian the cook. He didn't even know my name, and he's like asking Ariel, "Does his wife really have a boyfriend?" No, you thick cunt. No, because you're believing absolute bollocks and lies from other people. Imagine running a podcast and not knowing who your next guest was.
All right, I'm going to clip it there. It does go on. You can go find it on Ian's social media.
Drama.
But my
Can I just
point
say that
is,
censor job was terrible?
all I'm saying is, I censor it?
No, the censor job from the clip is terrible because you don't even cut out the swear words.
Oh yeah, I'm not doing none of that shit.
Yeah,
If we
I know,
can
I know you didn't. I've heard that version of the clip before, and it made me laugh the first time.
So, Rampage went ahead. I'm not going to play another sound clip, but Rampage went ahead and said he was sorry or whatever, and that it was all love, and he was just joking. The only real concern I have about it is Ian Gary still getting shook up right before fight, man. This guy is, his brain is everywhere. I'm not taking away from his skills. I'm not saying this automatically equates to a loss, but how much distraction can I let a guy have and then still bet him? Like, I just think there's validity to that thought process. Usman, go ahead.
Yeah, man, and I know I was in here yesterday really hyping up the fact that I don't think that Ian Gary can lose this fight. I think this is made for him to win just based on style matchups. But God, man, I really fucking hate that like every single little thing anybody can says. If y'all want to go get some likes and dislikes and fucking shares, just go ahead and say some cuck stuff because fucking Ian Gary is gonna react to it. And then just to go back to the whole training methods of being at shoot box, we know them motherfuckers just beat the balls off of each other in training camp. I hope that he doesn't fucking let all this shit get under his skin and then be like, well, fuck, man, I let Charles Oliveira beat the shit out of me in practice. I'm gonna go ahead and fucking go balls out with Jeff Neal, and then fucking Jeff Neal sleeps him because he fucking has a big ego, or Jeff Neal says something during the fucking press conference that just makes him see red. Like, as much as I did hype up Ian Gary yesterday, I'm not gonna say I don't have my concerns, because fuck, man, he reacts to every little fucking thing, and it's if he would just shut the fuck up, people would stop making the damn joke.
Yeah, he brings it on himself, 100%. Rhino.
One other thing is Ian Gary the next fucking hype train to get derailed? Because he still is a hype train, guys. And Jeff Neal is not. He's a veteran at this point. He actually deserves to have fights with other people that are either prospects of the future or at least ranked decently. So is he the next fucking, just like we seen last week with Pfeiffer?
Yeah, I've thought that Ian's gonna hit that wall at some point for a while. Um, he's had good showing.
Who's
Daniel,
he
close
fought
this.
besides this? Is what I'm
I
saying.
said good showing. I didn't
Mm-hmm.
say. I just said good showing.
I think Ian's legit. This is me though.
Yeah, I do too. I just still,
You just want to bang his wife. Shut up, Cade. You
no,
know
I
it.
don't
Damn it.
listen. I think he's a legit fighter too, Cade. I just think he gets very distracted, and I do think that his style will cause a ceiling. I do believe that it will cause a ceiling. Andrew, I seen your hand up. You're the host. You trump everybody. Go ahead.
Okay, so while I agree with you that he is definitely distracted and he's very emotional, I completely agree with that. Here's what I'll say though. The assuming it's going to affect him fight, it's kind of like when someone's never fought 5 rounds and then people just assume that they're going to gas. You know what I mean? I feel like it's the same thing. I feel like we should let this fight play out and see what he's made of. Because this fight is going to tell us what he's made of. Because anyone who watches him, we all have agreed. He's got the skills. He's nasty. But he's also showed that he can get rattled emotionally. However, if he can lock in on fight night and still do what he does, then who cares? You know what I mean? Daniel,
Oh
go
yeah.
ahead.
If he fucking walks in the cage, screams and flexes, they say fight, and he fucking takes 2 sprints across and knocks Jeff Neal the fuck out, I'm gonna give him all the credit in the world, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna come in here and say he was not shook, he was pissed. But I just don't see that. I don't think that's gonna be the case this time. I just personally I don't think it. I'm not cutting you short, Andrew, but we're at 15 and this is a hot one. Daniel, go ahead.
I've been saying this for months, and I can finally see it happen. I don't like Aunt Gary. I hate that guy. He's not a nice person. He's a terrible father. I know a deadbeat father when I see one. Trust me when I say, Joe and Kappa, you are superior in parenting than that guy. I want Jeff Neal to knock him out. I want him knocked out now, not tomorrow, not yesterday. Now, I want him knocked out.
All right. Chaos. Welcome to the mic, brother. Go ahead.
What's up, guys? We're talking about the Ian Gary fight, right? The Ian Gary Jeff Neal fight.
Yes.
Yeah, we're
So,
talking about whether or not his
look, man,
emotions got him shook.
I've been saying this for months before. I've been saying this for months when this fight got announced. Not even. I've been saying this when the fight got announced at, if I'm not mistaken, 292. Was it that? It was a Sean O'Malley.
Correct.
I think it was
and
292.
it got canceled. And I think Jeff Neal had an injury or something like that, and then he just kept talking shit about Jeff Neal, which is, man, Ian Gary's a piece of shit.
Oh, I muted you, brother. I didn't mean to.
No,
I
you're good. You're
muted you.
good. You're good.
Told you.
Ian Gary's a piece of shit of a person, and I'm telling you guys right now that Jeff Neal's gonna go in there. I don't say knock out, but he's gonna do a masterclass on Ian Gary, because keep in mind, there's reports saying out there that Shavkat knocked out Ian Gary in sparring, and Jeff Neal, and when Jeff Neal fought Shavkat, that was a really close fight. Believe it or not, that was a really close fight. Jeff Neal almost put Shavkat's lights out. So I don't know. There's reports saying out there. I think Brandon Allen came out. Vicente Luque came out. They all said that Shavkat knocked out Ian Gary in sparring. So I don't know that I just if Shavkat knocked out Ian Gary in sparring, and Jeff Neal did good against Shavkat Rachmanov until he got submitted in the final seconds of the third round. I just feel like this fight's is, I'm leaning towards Jeff Neal. He's got the hands of steel. So yeah, that's my pick.
I'm hoping you ain't wrong, because that's just what I've been on the train of. But Gary is a fucking monster, man. Like, there is no stripping away. That dude is a monster. Cade, go ahead.
My bad, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead, Chaos. If you want to follow up, go.
I was about to say, didn't Ian Gary get knocked out? Get knocked out by some, I forgot his name, Chinese fighter. He got knocked out by him. Imagine what Jeff Neal does.
Song Yadong.
Yeah, no, it was not Song Yadong. It was
It was Song
yeah, it
Kanon.
was close.
Yeah, Song Kanon. Yeah. He got knocked out by
Told you I
Song
was
Kanon,
close.
and you can't compare Song Kanon's power to Jeff Neal's power. So I'm just saying that out there. I think Jeff Neal's gonna knock down Ian Gary once.
And the price
At least
isn't
one
that
time.
bad. The price
No.
isn't that bad. He's plus 200 or plus over 200.
Look, Underground. I picked Jeff Neal my parlay, so that's how confident I am.
Oh, all right. We're on the same page, baby. All right.
Cade.
Yeah, I know you guys are trying to move on from this topic, so I'll keep it short. But I think that we're in a day and age now where, like, even though they're professional athletes and they got managers and, they shouldn't care what people say, we're in a day and age where social media is a big thing. These fighters, I guarantee you, these athletes, any professional athlete, they scroll social media, especially in the MMA world, just as much as we do. They're on here all the time. I mean, Jamal Hill does the same shit. Anytime somebody says something to Jamal, guess what? You get more times than not, you're getting a reply from Jamal. I just think you see more emotional athletes than you maybe saw back in the day. But I think when it comes fight night, they're able to separate it, and at least most of them. And I think you're really going to see what Ian Gary's made of. I think Ian Gary's legit, and he'll probably pick Jeff Neal apart for all 3 rounds. But Jeff Neal gave a fucking great fight to Shavkat and made him actually earn that victory. So it's not an easy fight, and I really do think that this will be a fight where you really get to see what Ian's made of. To be honest,
I think we're going to see either way, to be honest. Connor, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with Cade. I'm not really digging too deep into at least the comments that he made against Rampage. If I'm Ian Gary, I probably don't want to be called a cuck and then go on to your show and whatever. So, but I do. Joe, I think, brought up a point on a space not too long ago. If he looks rattled at a press conference, or if he no shows the press conference before the event, I would probably maybe lean on changing my pick. But I just think that Ian Gary's the better fighter, and yeah, I think he's still going to win. I think it's going to be a close fight. I think that Jeff Neal is going to really bring it to him, but I think that he'll just edge it out over 3 rounds.
Well, we'll find out this weekend. Man, I don't know. If anybody deserves to get the upset after getting embarrassed for no fucking reason, karma. If karma is a thing, Jeff Neal's got a W coming. That's all I'll say.
Where the upset
It's real.
comes with his wife's book. Because remember that Ian Gary has sold Jeff Neal's mugshot shirt. So I feel like Jeff Neal, even though Jeff Neal's a class of a guy, I think Jeff Neal should play some mind games.
You think Jeff Neal
his
take him
wife's
No,
book.
he
down?
did that.
I only think the only person who might talk shit to Ian Gary at the press conference is, believe it or not, Paulo Costa. It's probably the only one.
You're probably right. I'm muting this shit. We're done. That's 20 minutes on Ian Gary. We're done. I can't. We do 45 minutes of hot topics. That's 20 fucking minutes on Ian Gary. I'm not mad. I participated. I took part, but I got to end it somewhere.
I picked the subject. My bad.
So Kobe Covington, listen, I'm afraid to fuck the mics all up, hopping the name in and out of the space twice. And I know it does when I hop it. If I hop my name in on my computer and on the phone, it fucks the space up seemingly. So I'm gonna put it in the comments is my point. I can be in there without requesting a mic, and I can leave a comment. So I'm gonna share a bunch of tweets tonight. If anybody wants to pin them up top, I would gracefully appreciate it. But I'm just gonna
Okay,
put them in the
everybody share
comments.
this thing. Let's go.
All right. So Kobe Covington posted a foot of his X-ray. He says that he broke it on the first kick that he threw that landed on Leon Edwards' foot or elbow. Tough fucking luck is how I feel. I don't give a fuck, and it's not an excuse, Kobe. So what? You threw a shit fucking kick that got blocked by an elbow. That's the fight game. I just don't see how it fucking changes anything. And I'm
Please still went
swearing
to
a
a
lot
decision.
about it because it changes nothing. Connor threw his hand up fast. Go ahead, bud.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off if you were going to keep going, but
No,
yeah,
no, no, no.
I agree with what you're saying, especially if he broke the foot, quote unquote. I don't even know if it's broke. I don't really believe anything that Colby says, but if he did break it on a block, that's like on Leon. Leon did that, so he went 25 minutes. If he couldn't fight on that broken foot, he should have quit in between rounds and then made an excuse. But he fought. He still kicked with both legs. He still shot takedowns. He was walking. He was lunging. He was punching, switching stances. He was doing everything throughout the fight. So, yeah. I don't really give a shit about any of his excuses.
Rhino, go ahead.
How in the hell? It would have been a way worse excuse if he would have fucking cucked out, since that's the term of the night, and fucking quit because he broke his foot. Uh, Fighting all of those rounds still with a broken foot because of the scenario of the sport we play is perfectly fine. It's an excuse, yes, but it's also a reason of why we all said, "What the fuck, Kobe? That was not you. You didn't fucking try. You looked like a bitch out there." And he's like, I did break my fucking foot in the first round. So if it's true, you at least say, "Well, yeah, that fucking sucks."
Bro, Colby could have a fucking heart attack in the octagon, and Connor's gonna be like, "I don't want to hear it. I don't want to
Exactly.
hear it. You should have
Exactly.
fought through it, man."
YB.
Well, he did, but he did fight through. He did fight through. That's the thing to say.
Should have fought
I
harder,
think he's
bitch.
a fucking loser of a thing, yeah? He should have fought better, Should have fought better. He's a fucking mad rat.
Fuck out of here.
Never
Daniel,
impersonate Connor again.
Daniel, I'm about to laugh this one out. You got 15 seconds, bro. Go ahead.
Sanford son. Oh, it's the big one.
Oh,
Even
that's it.
Elizabeth.
That's it. That's it. All right, we laughed that shit out. We're not doing all that. So Jorge Masvidal. I know not everybody in here likes power slap.
Bastard.
I know not everybody in here likes power slap. I know everybody in here pretty much will talk crazy shit about power slap. But here is something that is real. It is full of fucking everybody who's everybody in the combat.
Crackheads.
No, everybody who's anybody in the combat game, the media game for MMA,
Free
and
ticket.
a bunch of celebrities. Like there are just tons and tons of fucking people there. Jorge Masvidal was spotted there talking to Sean Strickland. And Jorge's been talking about coming out of retirement. And Jorge looks big. There's a fight. So I just shared one. And when you see that photo in the comments, you're going to be like, that don't look so bad. But at another angle, and I know angles aren't flattering. So, I get it. I know what it is. But this angle here, let me share this other one. Jorge looks big. And I mean, I don't care how big Jorge is or isn't. That's not my problem or my issue. But if he's talking about going back to fighting, that seems off. He's not 6 foot. He can't fight at heavyweight, like he's not tall like that. So yeah, that just I don't know. That seems maybe it's a bulletproof vest. Someone made that comment. Maybe it is. Chaos, go ahead. Oh, it was Usman. Chaos, go ahead.
That guy really ate a 12-piece in a soda. He didn't eat a 3-piece in a soda. He ate a 12-piece in a soda. That fat bastard. Holy. I don't know. I think when you retire, you just let your body just loose. So I think he's just
Well, these
enjoying
guys
life right now.
abuse the shit out of their metabolism and their body for years cutting weight, bro. And then when they get out of camp and they gain weight, everybody's like, oh my God. But like, what the fuck do you want from them? They got to eat like horses in camp, right? Which keeps their weight down. And then they're supposed to come out of camp and maintain their girlish figure. Get the fuck out of here
Look,
with
Joe,
that.
he doesn't look like a combat fighter in those pictures, but I can tell you one thing: he looks like a sumo fighter right there. So he can go fight sumo.
Yeah, the one I think is a little altered, if I'm being fair. The second one I shared, that's by Benny P. All right, Underground, Rhino.
I would say that if he does come back and fight, it's going to be something boxing, and he doesn't really give a shit. He's there for his name. So that would be the only reason that I wouldn't care, because that's the only reason I think he should fight again, is for something of money value, because he's supposed to be a promotioner now. He's got his own little thing with bare knuckle MMA, and I think he should put more time into that instead of trying to do some type of fight.
Fair enough. He does have an upcoming card that I have a fight announcement for that I think's an old one. We just never hit it. Average, go ahead, bud.
Just on that picture, I'm just putting this out there. I have heard that it might be just a shirt that makes him look that big.
Sometimes that can happen. I don't know. Trace, nice to see you on a Tuesday, brother. What's happening?
How's it going, my man? I just want to respond to Chaos real quick. He was talking about how he said Masvidal doesn't look like a prize fighter or like a professional fighter anymore. He's not a professional fighter anymore. He's retired. This man has, like Joe said, put his body through hell for 20 plus years. Like he came from being poor. The dude
That's what
has
I
enough.
said.
The dude
I
has
said
enough
he's
money
retired.
to. The dude has enough money to be able to afford to get anything he wants in the world for the most part now, and eat whatever he wants. So let that man eat. Let that man get fat. Let that man
That's
be
what
happy.
that's what I just said. I said that he's retired and he just let his body loose because he's not a fighter anymore.
Well,
That's
I
what I
know,
said.
but you don't. But what I'm saying is like, there's no need to fat shame him though either. Like, you know what I'm saying? Let that
He
man be
really
fat
no,
and
but
happy.
he really lived up to his comments. He really did eat a 3-piece and a soda. So that's all I'm saying.
I got you. I got you. Anyways, Joe, back to you, brother.
Good to hear from you. Glad to see you in here, Trace. YB, close it out. I'm moving on.
I don't know. I don't ever really get too into these photos, man. I like myself, bro, as somebody that'll sit here and diet and shit. Dude, I could gain 20 pounds from the morning to the night. I promise you, with just a big meal. And you guys have seen my plates. I never take any of that into much account.
Yeah, no, and I get it. And I think the patty pictures are fucking. I don't even think they're patty. So, whatever. I'm not a conspiracy guy. I like to throw it in the chat all the time to poke at everybody. It's my
I
new
don't know,
fun thing to
Joe.
do.
I did see a picture of his phone chat, like their video chat after Molly won the other day, and he's looking pretty fat on that
Yeah,
phone.
yeah, Patty is bad. He's literally
Yeah,
quoted
but
as saying,
did you wait. But did you see a video?
I have, yes.
Show me a video of him heavy.
I
Show it
can't,
to me.
I'd have to look for it, but I have in the past, yeah.
DM me that video because I went on a hunt about 4 or 5 weeks ago and I decided to call that shit a myth. There are no live videos, interviews, or anything of Patty Heavy. There are only a couple of photos that surface, and I'm not being funny. It's
What
not
about
hard
the
to find
baseball
somebody
game?
that.
They did a baseball game where him and freaking Meatball showed up. That's got to be tape.
Oh, yeah, go find it and show me where he's fat.
I
Do
forget
that.
where well, yeah, I'm just saying that you could have
I
seen it at
looked.
least. I'm
I've
not
already
saying.
looked.
Well, did
Go.
you see that video that I'm talking about then?
No, I seen the pictures of them at the baseball game, though.
Well, I mean, but that would be where we would definitely find it.
And Patty has
Oh,
gone
yeah.
on record saying that if he wasn't a fighter, he'd be a diabetic.
Yeah, well, that's fine. Okay, so
Me too.
Sean O'Malley is planning on attending UFC 298 so he can set up a champ fight at the Sphere in December. Dana White recently said he plans to put on the greatest live sporting event ever. Noche, he said it'll be the greatest and no one will ever do it because they will not be willing to lose the money that he is going to lose to put this card on. Man, I fucking want to go. I think Rob said he's going. He ain't in here right now, but big ups to him. Dead Pick, are we on? I got so much shit open trying to keep all these little things going on today's space, bro. Are we on YouTube right now? Are we live? Can I get a thumbs up or a thumbs down? Guess not. That's okay. Um, If he's on the YouTube, he's probably delayed. Anyways, so that was just one I wanted to run through. I don't want to hit that one real hard because here's one I do want to hit. So UFC 300 is the fucking topic that everybody's starting to get tired of. We thought the Super Bowl weekend was
No,
going to be.
I'm at the edge of my seat waiting for this fucking announcement. Damn it!
Yeah, well, we thought it was going to be Super Bowl weekend. It wasn't. Here's some things I just want to point out. I got about 8 of them I'm going to just hammer off here. Make of any of them what you will. These are just things that I think to take into consideration when looking at UFC 300. One, Islam keeps saying he's going to fight in June or July. Dana says Connor versus Mike will probably happen in the fall. Hamzat took himself out of the 300 running, said he is not fighting that close out of Ramadan. John Jones says he got a call a couple days ago. He said it was actually Hunter Campbell, and they offered him the UFC 300 main event. He didn't feel comfortable taking it on such short notice after surgery, out of shape. Seems reasonable. Dana White has promised 2 more fights for UFC 300, and people are going ape shit. Dana White didn't say we're getting a main and a co-main. That is not what he said, to be clear. He didn't even, I mean, I guess he's indicated that it would be a main event announcement, but people are turning this into a double main and a co-main still coming. I don't think that's the situation. I think that it's one big fight and then another decent fight. DDP says he's still recovering and that the UFC Africa card that is supposed to be happening next year is more important to him than 300. 300 is just a number to him. Tom Aspinall posted a screenshot of him booking a flight to Vegas 1 week before UFC 300. Tom and Alex both recently said again that they would take the fight. Tom Aspinall's exact words were, "I'm good to go." That's the only one that seems to be sticking anywhere in the socials, anywhere in the sphere that could happen. I also still think that you could make that Conor versus Islam is more likely than Mike versus Conor, in my opinion. Just that's my opinion. You guys can comment anything you want on that, or you can just let me roll on. Chaos, go ahead.
Hello, can you hear me? Is that my bad? I just had to take my AirPods off. But the 2 fights for UFC 300, I have a feeling it's gonna be. I feel like Dana White's lying about Conor McGregor fighting in the fall. I feel like Conor McGregor is fighting on that 300 card. I don't know why. I feel like he's playing us. That's one.
Oh, I didn't update that list. I meant to today. Connor said over Super Bowl weekend that, what did he say? It's the greatest American sporting event next to the summer return of Conor McGregor in 2020.
Awesome, that's out the window then. But in that case, then I truly feel it's gonna be Bilal and it's gonna be Bilal and Leon, and then I guess you have to give it to Alex and Tom, which that match stylistically is just terrible for Alex. I don't know why he would want to move up. I guess he wants to go for that triple champ status, even though he's fighting for the interim belt. But yeah, like I'm not a big Bilal fan, but when I heard the news that Dana White wanted to do a
Listen, bro. Listen,
let me
Bilal sells
the
no
thing the
pay
thing
per
is Joe
views.
Joe let me talk
Muhammad.
ready. I'm sorry, but when I heard that they wanted to do a Hamzat, when I heard they wanted to when they wanted to do a Hamzat and Leon fight, I was like, man, like, are you serious? Like, why are you gonna give Hamzat a title shot? It makes absolutely no sense.
Because Bilal can't sell 50,000 fucking
I
pay per
know, I,
views.
I know Bilal's not a draw or anything, but
He
you
is
can't, but you
not
have to.
Bilal Muhammad. I will bet you my fucking house. Bilal Muhammad will not main event
No, he's
UFC
not main
300.
eventing. That's the thing. It's gonna be a co-main at least. The co-main.
Why would they do that? They got 301, 302, 303, 304, 305 coming. Why would they
What
do
what
that?
what other title fight you think? Because he said there's 2 title fights, right, or one, or whatever. What other big
Bro, there's
2
already
fights.
2 title fights. There's already 2 title fights on the card.
Dana
but
White
really,
said 2 fights.
but in reality, who cares about that woman's fight? Honestly, that no one cares about that fight. At least you had one more title fight, and then I think he said he wants to add 2 more title fights if I'm not mistaken. So I think you should make that Bilal and Leon, even though Bilal doesn't sell. Like, man, you can't.
Bro, I know you want it. It's Bilal
Bro, I'm
Muhammad's
a
not
Kobe
fighting.
fan. I'm a Kobe fan. I don't like Bilal. That's the thing. And
He's
Connor knows
not
this. I'm a.
he's
I'm a.
not fighting at 300, bro. He's not. Let it go. He's
What
not.
other title fight? What other title fight would you give it then? That's. I'm asking you this. It's Alex and Tom. Okay, you can say Alex and Tom, but what other title shot is out there?
Bro, they will pay anybody. They will give it to Chimaev. That's why that rumor's going around. They're not
Jamali's not
giving
even
it.
ranked anymore in the welterweight. You know what I'm trying to say.
Bro, that's a hotter rumor, and even Ariel Hawani is talking about it over
I thought he
Bilal
posted that
Muhammad.
But
Ramadan. He wasn't
Listen,
fighting.
the
but Chamai's
host
already done though.
Andrew
Yeah,
had
that's the
his
thing.
hand up.
Chamai's already out though. Chamai's already out. So who
Andrew
else
had
would you
his
give it
hand
to?
up, and we spoke over it. What do you got, Andrew?
I didn't have my hand up.
I swear to God, you did, bro. YB, what you got?
Bro, I just wish Dana never came out and made the initial announcement that it was going to be like, oh my god, the what the hell moment and blah 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 blah. Bro, like he should have waited until he had something further because it is getting boring at this point, and it's one of those things where we have no idea. It can't be Connor, as you said. I mean, it just can't be. Bilal sells 3 pay-per-views if you're lucky. You can't put him anywhere near that fucking card. We all know this. If you're in any of these spaces, you know this. I don't know. I wish he hadn't announced it. I wish he had just sat on it and waited.
So
Because it's
people started
literally,
because I started last July, bro. I started on 300 seriously in like fucking August. Like I was even Mike Heck told me to shut up. So like Dana didn't really bring it up, and I agree with you. If he would have just not said anything, it just wouldn't be so bad. But I do want to reiterate 200 was not announced till 199. Someone said that. I checked it. They are right. If it is a big fight like Connor, they're not going to overshadow the Sean O'Malley card. I've said it twice already. They're not going to, not everybody buys all the pay per views. They are not going to let a Conor McGregor fight overshadow a Sean O'Malley pay per view. They want that guy to be a star. It just doesn't make sense to me.
You know
It
what I
just
think? My bad, Joe. You know what I think the fight is? Is okay. Since it's not Belong Leon, which we can take it out of the picture. What's the update on Jamal Hill? Is he healthy? Is he back in training? Because I feel like you can do Jamal Hill, Alex Pereira, and then you have Cyril Gane fight for I don't know, the undisputed title against Tom Aspinall. That's another shout. But I know Tom said he doesn't want to give Cyril Gane a title shot. But
Tom also recently said he would fight Surreal and AP. All right, we're running out of time for hot topics here. Andrew, how big is the announcements list this week?
It's nothing crazy. Got like 11 fights. Nothing too big worth talking about, but should be
All
quick.
right, so a few hot topics ain't gonna hurt nothing then. Sage Norcutt. Last week I had commented on or brought up how some funny shit was going on with Sage, and he couldn't get his team into the one card, so he
Roro
pulled out of the
Burko
fight.
Mako.
What's that?
You were breaking up a little bit there, Joe. You might
Oh,
want to
my
start
bad, my
over.
bad. See if that helps. All right, so last week I brought up that Sage Norcutt pulled out of his fight due to something that seemed funny about his coaches not being able to get into the country to coach him. But and I'm still trying to figure it out exactly because Sage is kind of starting to open up on social media about it. He's saying that they knew that his coaches couldn't get over there and they weren't going to tell him basically until his coaches got there and got fucking turned around. Um, and that a ticket salesman tipped him off that they weren't going to be able to go. So I don't know if the guy called them to get him a refund or if the guy called them trying to buy the tickets. Like, I don't know. But it seemed clear to me that one was trying to do Sage dirty. We all seen what they did to him before. I've already said that a few times in these spaces. Sage says he has a lot of issues with one and topics he plans to discuss later, including weight cutting policies, drug testing, the roster, and the promotion stability. One released a statement saying that it was a isolated incident and that they apologized for them. Just some corporate bullshit is what sounded like. Fucking GPT wrote it. So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if anybody cares about Sage Norcutt enough at this point to even want to talk about it, but they're trying to do him dirty over there, and it sounds like Sage may be interested in trying to get out of one at this point. Who knows? And we'll see. If they're not stable, that's not going to matter anyway. Show of hands. everybody in here who thought that Raquel Pennington was going to call Kayla Harrison out, raised their hand. Who thought that was going to happen? Average.
Somebody press the
Why did
cricket
you
button.
think? Average. Why did you think Raquel Pennington was going to call out Kayla Harrison?
It just seems to make sense. I think she thinks she's confident that she's going to beat Holly, and that'd be like a big name for her, like a feather in a cap, kind of. Just seemed kind of obvious.
Well, she called out Juliana Pena instead. Yeah, definitely called out Juliana Pena and
Yeah,
said
I
after
know.
that, and then said after that she would need some time off because Tisha Torres is. She said Tisha's got a big announcement coming up. She's returning. Like, what the fuck?
Bro, she
Like,
don't want that fight with Kayla. Come on.
I'm saying the
no,
call out should have been obvious.
yeah, she's trying to cite 2013 tough and shit. She's like, I've had a beef ever since then, and
Yeah,
Juliana didn't even know it.
yeah, I
Like,
know.
what are you
Like
trying to
she
sell
got the
us?
timeline mixed up. She literally got the time. I was so confused. She said 10 years on the microphone when she won the belt, and then the press conference afterwards, she said 15 years. It's like you can't even keep track of how long you've hated this woman for.
Dude, she's
Yeah,
just trying to I'm telling you, dude, she's just trying to put something together because she don't want Kayla. She's got to be able to sell the
I'm
the
with
Pena
Andrew
thing.
100%. She does not want it with Kayla.
So she's got to sell it with Pena.
I agree 100%. Daniel, close this one out.
Yeah, I'm excited for the return of Tisha Torres. You know, like after she just had the baby with her spouse, Pennington. I'm excited to see her back in the cage.
I'm excited to see Juliana Pena return. So that's how I feel about that. And I think that Kayla versus Pena will be a funner build up to watch if Kayla wins, Pena wins, and Amanda's not coming back right away. Like, I think that would be a better build up. I think I would enjoy that more as a fan personally. Okay, let's shoot down the list here. Chris Cyborg and Clarissa Shields are heating up a little bit, but not over MMA, over boxing. I really see a pattern where Chris is like indirectly dismissing PFL. I know Cade's talked with her. I know I watched Cade's interview twice, and who did the other one I watched a couple times? James Lynch. Um, I it I don't think Cyborg's ever going to fight for the PFL or Bellator again. I actually think she's trying to figure out how to get out of that contract. I don't know when she times out, but her and Clarissa Shields bumped into each other, and they were talking about boxing. They weren't even talking about MMA. I don't know if you guys can pick this one up. If you can't, give me some thumbs down. But this was them when they bumped into each other. Let me hit the volume here. Go ahead.
I don't know. You want to call me out? I said, why is she calling me out? I just started boxing. Now it's true. Yes. If they told me that they have money and started for us to box, you already do boxing? Yes, but we have to figure out the weight. Yeah, so what was the problem with figuring out the weight? Oh, okay, so make it like 157, you can fight. Well, as you can see. Yeah, but you're fight 155.
That's about 30 seconds of a 2-minute video. You can find that on John Morgan MMA's page. I'm sure you can find it other places too. That's just where I found it. So I just find it relevant that she is not talking about the PFL in any way. I do think we may see Cyborg's last fight or two in the UFC, her last few MMA fights. It seemed like it was impossible. I think that's the way it's going. The only hand I see up is Daniels. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, I heard enough, and I'll believe it when I see it. Talk is cheap.
What do you mean?
From from the video, you said that was 30 seconds of the 2-minute video. Honestly, I heard enough, and I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I mean, Chris would definitely box her. I'm not being funny. Chris has got too much ass to get down to 145, though.
Exactly. That's why I
That
say I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I don't know. That Chris would definitely have to go up. Carissa may get down some, but like she's not no tiny girl, so I just
She
don't
never
know.
was.
Chris is talking about she thinks she could easily make um 35 right now. She's not as big as she used to be. You can see it the way she stands. So I just think I think she goes to the UFC and fights at 135, and then I think we see Ronda Rousey talk shit about how she was on too much steroids when Ronda was fighting. I don't think we see Ronda come back. I just think we see Ronda talk some shit about Chris if she gets back in the UFC. All right, so there's that. All right, so Dustin Poirier says he was never offered a fourth Conor McGregor fight. This could be a good sign for Chandler. Also, could be a sign that the UFC is semi-protecting Conor from guys that are likely to beat the shit out of him.
Oh hell yeah!
Dustin did say though he had hoped to get a legacy fight, and he didn't get offered anything like that when he was offered BS. When he was offered BSD, he said he didn't get anything like that, and I don't know. Just I guess it's kind of rough. I feel like Dustin never hit the pinnacle, but he was a hell of a company man, and watching them cash Dustin Poirier's name value out is gonna suck. I hope he calls it quits, and I hope he finds a home in bare knuckle for 4 or 5 fights. And I don't say that like a dog out. Dustin Poirier and bare knuckle cleans up. He's gonna get paid big, big, big. If he did 4 fights in bare knuckle in 2 years and retired, it'd probably be worth $10 million for him. So um, yeah, he's a hell of a boxer, and if the UFC is gonna try to push him down the ladder, I want to see him make moves for himself. I really like Dustin. Average, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, what would a legacy fight for him even look like?
At this point, I think it's just about somebody with name value. Someone he feels is like um gonna sell. I think that's kind of what he means there. I'm gonna bring up the UFC rankings
I
real
mean,
quick. So
I say that because he's fought just about everybody.
It would be somebody like RDA or Nate Diaz, and those are basically the only fucking legacy fights that are available for him. I mean,
he
I'm
did
not too much.
mention Nate Usman. He did mention Nate in that conversation.
Yeah, I'm not too much of a Dustin Poirier fan. I've always said he delivers with great fights, but just being a fan of him specifically is just not my cup of tea. But yeah, like I'm not gonna deny the level of a star he is, and there's nobody that can compare to the star level of where he's at, unless it's a Connor or a Nate Diaz. And I only say RDA because legacy RDA has fought everybody, including your dead great grandmother. So, fucking, that's why him.
I think he feels like Armin could have fought BSD and he could have fought Charles. He didn't say that. I'm just making an assumption. Trace, get it.
You said that there's not another like a big name fight for him, but I know it's not MMA. But like if like what Joe said, if he did leave the UFC and went elsewhere, like bare knuckle, dude, him and Mike Perry would be fucking
Ooh,
huge.
boy, that
Take my
I
money.
knew what was coming out of your mouth.
Him
Jesus
and
Shut
Mike
up
Perry
and
Christ.
would be
take my
huge.
money.
Hey, and you know what? I don't think there's maybe only one person that may be more built for bare knuckle than Mike Perry, and that's Dustin Poirier.
You're goddamn right it is. He is the only guy that I can say, yeah, he'd probably do better than Mike Perry for sure. Maybe Ben Rothwell, though. Ben fucking loves that shit. Lick the knuckles. He fucking loves that shit, bro. Cade.
Yeah, I think to be honest with you, are you guys kind of saying like these are the paths for Poirier if he loses his fight? Is that what I'm getting? Sorry, I walked away from the mic for a second.
Well, Poirier just made a comment how he thought he had hoped he would be offered some type of legacy fight, and he didn't get anything like that with his last offer. And pretty much said he's always taken, pretty much anybody they've asked him to. And, he thought he would get like a legacy fight. And I think he was trying to say, I thought I would get a big money fight.
Yeah, I think this honestly is a good fight for Poirier, to be honest. And a lot of people disagree with me, but that's fine. I think when you look at Dustin Poirier as a fighter in his career, yeah, he took a fucking head kick knockout from a guy that doesn't necessarily throw head kicks like that. So it really caught him off guard. But I don't think that this is necessarily the end of Dustin Poirier. Like, I think if he comes out here and he gets a win against BSD, like, he's right back where he needs to be. Like, I truly feel that way. I think, like, he's almost in the same position that Gaethje was in when they gave him Fiziev, except BSD's down the rankings a little bit more. But he beats him. Now he's going to get another contender fight. So, not saying that a title shot's, like, in his picture, but, like, you never know with Dustin Poirier, man. That could have woke his ass up, bro. Now he's ready to come and scrap. I mean, that guy's a dog, man. And yeah, he got kicked, head kicked, but I don't think his chin's gone or any of that shit, man. Like, if Dustin Poirier wants to fight on the day of the fight, you're gonna get a fucking dog. And that's just always been Dustin, bro. I mean, I don't know, man. I still think Dustin's in this shit if he beats BSD.
I do too. I think if he does to him what he did to Connor, for example, I agree with you. Usman, go ahead.
Yeah, my only thing is that he's talking about legacy fights because he knows he's he's talked about retirement for sure before, and we can chalk that up to just fighters being emotional. But I mean, they've given him every chance to wrap that belt around his waist, even with the BMF belt. And legacy, like he's talking about legacy fights because he feels like he's been at the end of his road for quite a while now, and the dude's been fucking fighting forever now. When I'm thinking of legacy fights, he doesn't want to fight Colby because he doesn't want to give him money, according to his own self. I don't think he gets to just go straight up to welterweight and get a title shot. And it just doesn't seem like anybody at welterweight has enough star power to match the level of Dustin Poirier. But what about this, man? Volkanovski has just been talking and talking about win or lose, how he wants back at 155 and he wants back at 155. What about Volka? If both of these guys can get the win or shit, even if Volk loses and he loses the belt and he's able to come up to 155, like without the belt and stuff, nothing holding him back. Fucking Dustin Poirier versus Volkanovski, that would be
I
the
think
kind of
I
legacy
think
fight
you're
that would.
I think you're onto something with that one, Usman. I that's especially if he loses to Taporia and he's in a situation like Aljo where he says fuck 45 and just moves up. I think that's definitely like a really good legacy fight. I'm also like in belief that like everybody creates their own legacy. And I think the perfect legacy fight for Dustin Poirier, in my opinion, and I just don't think the UFC is going to do it, but I think they should do it, would be the legacy fight that it was for maybe a guy like Masvidal, man. Like go fight fucking Colby, bro. Let's squash the beef, bro. I mean, the way Colby looked in his last fight, I'll tell you right now, Dustin Poirier would beat the fucking brakes off him. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Like I think that would be a good legacy fight for Dustin.
I would hope someone would beat the
I think
brakes
there's a
off of
lot of them
someone
out
with a
there.
broken foot.
Man, fuck those excuses, man. I was on Colby. I like Colby to win that fight, but he get the
Me
fuck
too,
out of
but
here with
fuck him
those.
for that shit. I was with you, Cade, but fuck him for that broken foot bullshit. I don't want to hear it, Kobe. Um, I agree. There's a lot of good fights out there for Dustin. I think he's just feeling some type of way because I think he feels like he got made to fight down significantly. That's just what I think. All right, so Henry Cejudo recently fired his coach on air. Like, couldn't tell if it was a work or
Hey Joe,
not.
did you
It
you
is.
didn't see that? It
It
was a
is. It
prank.
was a work.
Prank.
Okay, but is he not training with
No,
him?
No,
he is,
Like,
and the
was
coach is with him right now at UFC 298. It
Hey,
got announced that it was a
fuckers.
prank.
Hey, fuckers. I put my hand up first. Come on here. I
go ahead,
I
Usman.
wanted to
I
be
know
the
that this
one.
is your lover.
I wanted to be the one to say that it was a work, and I wanted to talk shit about all the little bitches on fucking MMA Twitter talking about, ooh, that was so unclassy. Ooh. That's not the right way to do it. Fucking MMA.
Well, you're handling it. You're handling it with class yourself, there, Usman.
Everybody fucking talking shit. Shut the hell up and get your fucking panties out of your vagina. Jesus Christ. Crying about it was unclassy, pussies.
Daniel, go ahead.
I mean, obviously, some of y'all didn't see the countdown. It was professional. He was like telling him heart to heart. He took him to the side and said,
yeah, it was
"I need
fake, man.
to." Yeah, it was classy. He goes, I think I would need to like move on and have a change."
So you guys are gonna have to forgive Usman for his animosity. He's going through it right now. One of his favorite fighters is about to retire after this weekend, so he's feeling a certain way. So forgive him. He's going through it.
And the guy that's about to beat him is becoming a true GOAT on social. And I know that Usman's falling in love with him,
I've
but
been
he's going to
falling in love
murder
with them.
Henry.
I've been the only fucking Marab fan, and now everybody sees that. Hey, he's actually funny. Hey, he's actually cool. Fuck all y'all. It was me first, and you know what? I'm saying it now. So who those finishing Marab? Stamp
On
that
what
shit.
planet? On what planet?
The
You
fuck out
you
of
shut the
here,
hell up,
Cejudo
Australian.
finished in the Rob. What, who told you that?
Cejudo, he DM'd me. He said, put it all on KO,
You
doggy.
DM Cejudo back and tell him that you don't appreciate him fucking with you because you're gonna have a breakdown in front of the homies right there on the fucking spot because you went out thinking he was gonna win, but you went out and he lost by getting his motherfucking ass beat.
Hey, thankfully,
Yep, that's
thankfully, I'm out of town this weekend, going on a little road trip with the family. So
Convenient.
the only person that'll see my tears
he's
is gonna
gonna
be
be
my
driving
dad.
like Chevy Chase with a cell phone, crying his eyes out when Henry's all beat up and retired. Oh, I don't feel bad. I don't. Whatever. Henry's gonna get his ass whooped out there. Israel Adesanya added $20 million to his portfolio. 20 million in property. Israel built some. They refer to him as estates, but he rents them. Um, I don't think you can actually buy them from him. It is called Adesanya Close. That is the name of the subdivision, I guess is what you would call it. All look real nice, state of the art, cool design, shit like that. Good for him, sincerely, I love to see fighters when they are doing well with their money. I'm running over Andrew, but I don't have a lot on the tail end, brother, so it's not going to run late. I've only got 3 on the tail end, so that's just why I'm running late on it. I'm just going to
I'm
hit.
chilling, bro. Do
Uh,
your thing, man. I'm chilling.
John Jones was recently drunk at a comedy club in LA, heckling a performer. The comedian eventually walked off the stage. John Jones remains undefeated. I
Yeah,
don't give a
just so
fuck
you
what he
know,
does.
Death Noodles isn't. If you class Death Noodles as a comedian, stop watching comedy. He's not funny.
Well, here's what I know. He walked off stage before John quit heckling. John Jones is still undefeated. That's what I know. Usman.
You silly bitches. Y'all really think that fucking John Jones is gonna lose to Tom Aspinall when he's out here getting blackout drunk, heckling people? He's about to enter his fucking final form. We've seen this before, boys. I feel bad for anybody that signs that contract next to John Jones. He's getting the fucking liquor and the coke poured into his veins. He's
I want to
going
see
to
his
murder
girlfriend.
somebody.
I want to see a picture of his girlfriend that he was at the club with, so I can judge how much cocaine he's doing,
Dude,
and then, and then, and then I will decide how heavy to bet
I
him.
yo,
beat you
I
after a
love that,
weekend of
bro.
cocaine.
I love that. Usman just said, oh man, that was so funny. He's like, did you not see what I did to DC on cocaine?
It's one of the greatest moments in MMA history for me.
Stipe is gonna walk out of that damn fucking octagon in a damn wheelchair, guys. This is not good for a heavyweight division.
So, can I just say, with respect, I love John Jones. You guys know, if you don't, go visit my page. I have a pinned tweet of, yeah, it's ridiculous. I love me some John Jones. But,
You didn't like the finger in the butthole thing? Yeah, me neither,
no, no,
man.
no, no. So, do you remember for a little while when John used to enter the ring, like his body language wasn't hype, like he wasn't running around all crazy, but like his face was all hype and he would yell, "Whoa!" Do you remember that?
Mm-hmm.
How much cocaine do you think he was on when he was yelling like that? Like, I love the guy, but like, man, the more I watch his career, the more I'm like, bro, are you sure you were only doing it the
You
weekend
think he was actually
before?
high
Like,
during the fight, bro?
yeah, maybe. I don't
Wow,
I
know,
that's.
do.
bro.
I think he was.
I mean, it's.
Listen,
Put it this way, man. I would believe it, bro. I would believe it. It happens in other sports too, man. If you guys know anything about Josh Gordon, the NFL, he was great for a year or two. Dude, he said he would play games drunk, and he performed
yeah,
at a
bro.
top level. It's fucking insanity.
Bro, listen, I'm not a pro athlete, right? And I'm a professional now, and I've grown up a lot. But in my youth days, and I'm not talking about teenage, but we'll just say in my youth days, um, I went through a spell with marijuana. I could smoke marijuana and do anything, right? So then I went through a phase with like mushrooms. I assure you, I can eat mushrooms and go to work. I can eat mushrooms and drive down the freeway. I can eat mushrooms and sit next to the cops while I eat dinner. It don't bother me. I'm telling you, I was a pro. I just was eating mushrooms all the time. I could get them cheap and it was fun. So for me to think that John Jones isn't a regular person that could go do what he does every day on the drug that he does every day would be fucking ridiculous. I know this dude named Larry. They call him Schlarry because of the way he talks when he's drunk, right? Schlarry is a drunk. And twice, like every other month or some shit, couple times a year, I don't really know the schedule. Him and all his friends buy cocaine. They buy like an ounce or two and they cook it down and they smoke freebase, right? Like that's what they do. But they'll have some left over. And he told me, he's like, yeah, I'll do it like before work every day until I run out. And I'm like, you do what? Bro, get the fuck away from me. This is the dude at the bar, right? I'm like, Slary, I cannot fuck with you no more. But my point is, he was moving pianos, doing all types of hardcore drugs. I've done mushrooms and went to work. John Jones has done cocaine and went to work. I am not dumb. I am not dumb enough to think that he hasn't. That's all I'm saying. Or naive. Patty Pimlet thinks that, or I'm sorry, Ilya Taporia says he's not interested in fighting the beginner Patty Pimlet or Sean O'Malley. Listen, I agree Patty's not probably on his level, but Ilya's not exactly the draw he thinks he is. He's going to have to fight somebody that people want to see him fight. Like, I don't
this
know.
weekend.
Yeah, but after that, I don't feel like Ilya's the big draw. Like, I don't feel like it's going to be like, oh my God, 305, Ilya Taporia. I just,
Fucking Za.
maybe I'm tripping. I just don't see it. Max Holloway continues to be a good person, recently helping open a Boys and Girls Club in Hawaii. He says places like that helped change his life when he was young because he always had a place to go. Shout out Max Holloway. I didn't want to skip that. Andy Hickey MMA, at Andy Hickey MMA. If you don't follow him, pretty good follow. Dude's always posting MMA, random MMA stuff, but always good stuff. He said, we live in a world where Jairzinho Rosenstruck is headlining his sixth UFC card. Well, he wired it a little different, but he used parentheses. Just he's headlining his sixth UFC event, and Nurmagomedov had only headlined 4, and Islam only headlined 5. Um, a lot of gatekeepers will headline a lot of cards. They just don't headline big cards.
That's what Sean
I
Strickland
feel
was
like
before he was champion.
Yeah, and like once they headline some big cards, they get money. They don't have to fight as often, so they don't. I don't think it's lazy. I don't think it's the silk sheets thing. I think every fighter wants to train more, prep more, do more, have a better plan. And when you have more money, you can do that. Just what I think. Yeah, I don't. Whatever. I got no hands on that one, so I'm gonna bounce over to Kevin Lee. Last week, I suggested he should fight Tony Ferguson. Voila! Kevin Lee has called for Tony Ferguson. He said if not, he wants the loser of Connor versus Mike.
You know what though? For Kevin Lee, it actually makes sense because he lost to the guy, and I'm sure he wants that one back. So for him, it actually makes sense.
The Tony fight?
Yeah.
Tony makes great sense. Calling for the loser of Connor versus Mike is like, bro, get the fuck out of here with
No,
that.
I'm talking
Like,
about Kevin Lee calling for Tony.
yeah, that makes sense. But him calling for the loser of Mike versus Connor, if he doesn't get that one, doesn't make sense.
Oh yeah, that's wild.
Connor J, go ahead.
Yeah, I think the Kevin calling for the Tony fight, like, somewhat makes sense, at least for him. You know, that's probably a guy that's on his level right now. But it just kind of seems, I don't know. It's like such a sad fight for like he wants that win back, but like it's like weird that he's now calling out Tony at like this point in Tony's career. It's like, what is it? But yeah,
Still calling out Tony.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's been calling out
Bro.
Tony to get that rematch for years.
It's just,
Bro,
yeah, at some point, I don't know. I got reason to believe Tony Ferguson, or that there are some fighters under UFC contract that may. It's possible they're going out elsewhere. I don't know. Topic for end of the space. All right, I'm almost at the end. I had like 20 of the hitters today, but I knew there wasn't a lot for the announcements because I had already peaked. Cedricus Dumas, who has showed us some love and been in our space. I guess he was cool enough. He was arrested for battery.
Again.
There is a video again. This time he was kind of poking the cops, I guess you would say, like had the phone out, whether he thought he was right or wrong. I didn't feel like he was being very compliant. I'm not saying you should comply, but when a cop's just asking you some basic shit, treating you like a regular person, not talking to you no type of way, sometimes just treat that man like a normal person too and just talk to him, the way you want him to talk to you, because he clearly was. So I don't know. I don't really have a lot of sympathy for Cedricus in this one, man. Like, you could have handled the situation a lot differently. I thought I had a link to the video. I do not know where it's at this moment. I will try to get it posted by the end of the space. Man, I really thought I had that link. Anyways, Bo Nickel gets to ask the same fucking question all the time. Could you beat this guy? Could you beat that guy? Could you beat this guy? I think it's fucking ridiculous at this point.
The guy asked me about being in a wrestling match. I'm like, dude, I wrestled my whole life. That's like asking me if I'm going to stop a Cristiano Ronaldo penalty kick. Like, I'm not going to stop it. Like, he's going to hit that 100 out of 100 times. Maybe one time he hits the crossbar, but like, I'm not touching the ball. Like, it's the same thing. I just think like that's my sport. I've done that.
So Bo's comments are reasonable. He's not talking shit. And he always handles it with a lot of class with the media. But my question is Bo constantly being asked if he could out wrestle this guy, out wrestle that guy, starting to hurt him, or is this a good stick for him? Like, is this a good way for him to keep getting clicks and keep getting views and keep getting listens? Because it seems like it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller when I see these type of videos. Andrew, I'm gonna make you respond on that one since no one put their hand up.
I don't think it hurts him. I mean, I really don't. I think anyone who's seen him fight, I mean, granted, he has a knockout on his record. Anyone who's seen him fight knows he's a wrestler. And if you fucking search his name, like, the only shit that comes up is going to be wrestling. So, I mean, yeah, embrace who you are. Be who you are. There's nothing wrong with it. You know what I mean? And even like the fighters who are like considered like lay and pray fighters, like, I can't stand those fighters, but for them, it's their career, it's their life. If that's their way to win, then that's their way to win. And then I'll just sit here and talk shit about it. That's totally fine. But yeah, let him do what he wants to do, man. I mean, let him boost his numbers. I think it works for him.
I think his numbers are starting to drop a little bit. I'm going to pay closer attention.
What I will say, though, what I've noticed with him is that his fights are getting a little bit far in between.
Yeah, and now he's starting to talk about a lot of people he's not fighting. And I think that begins to hurt you. Stop talking about people you're not going to fight. Start finding fights. Yeah, I do think it hurts him at some point. Stop talking about wrestling Khabib. And I know people are asking him and he's polite enough to answer, but at some point he's got to tell them, like, listen, I need you to ask me real questions. I need you to ask me about my MMA career. The MMA, not the MMA media as a whole, but there are MMA guys on the big end of the medium spectrum that, man, they really ask some weird questions that do seem like they're trying to get some headlines opposed to asking questions that make sense. And it kills me because there's a lot of guys in the smaller outlets. Cade right there is one of them, who get good interviews with really top-notch fighters and ask real questions, and they don't get the clicks and they don't get the love and they don't get the views, but these guys will ask the stupidest shit. Do you think you could out-wrestle Khabib Nurmagomedov? And the fucking clicks go through the roof. I guess that's just a casual fan thing, but it fucking drives me crazy. So there's that. Let me gray them out. Last thing I had before I hand it over to Andrew for fight announcements is Sean Strickland had a very busy weekend. I don't know if you guys know about all this or have heard about all of this, but Sean Strickland dissed MGK. This was also, so Jorge was spotted at slap fights. That's why that was brought up earlier, or power slap, or whatever the fuck it is, right? Sean Strickland was also spotted there, and he like dissed MGK, called him a vampire and a fucking weirdo and shit. It was somewhat comical. Then he had a face-off with President Trump. He also beat up a streamer. We're in the same 48 hours here, named Sneeko, who asked for him to beat him up, and people are mad, which is fucking weird. The guy wanted Sean Strickland to piece him up. He accepted a $1 million challenge from Jake Paul. Got a call from Hunter Campbell telling him, you can't do that, bud. Sean said he told Hunter, look, man, I'll do this. I can beat this guy's ass. You let Conor box Floyd, this is a way easier fight. He says Hunter told him Jake does not sell. He doesn't. They give away tickets to make their sellouts. His fans are kids, and kids don't buy pay-per-views. Now some influencer named Bryce Hall, who has millions of fucking followers. I don't know who he is, but man, he's got like millions of fucking followers. He's calling Sean out, and Sean's like telling him he wants to murder him. And I don't know, man. Sean is fucking over the top. But this dude is everywhere. This dude is nonstop. He says he hates influencers, but I don't know if you guys have seen his relationship with Nina Drama. He loves influencers. That's all bullshit. Yeah, I don't know. I see some hands go up, so I'm gonna let some comments go. I'm gonna pin a few tweets here, and then I'm gonna play a little audio from Brendan Schaub, who took a shot at Nina Drama, who got pissed. Well, he takes a shot at Sean Strickland. Nina then replies. I'll post all the tweets. YB, go ahead.
Man, you know what I noticed tonight? I noticed there are a good amount of unknown faces in this chat right now in this space. And I just wanted to let them know if they need any sort of resource to cap any fights.
No. That goes off in a minute here. That goes off in a second here.
Well,
I got one for you, YB. Have faith in me.
bet.
Have faith in me.
You
I'm
fixed
on it
it
this
from
time.
last time, right? All right, bet.
Yeah, I got it. I'm hoping it'll work off this time. Daniel, go ahead.
I didn't even know who the hell Sneeko was until someone told me what he was. And after I found out, I said he deserved all that beating. Like, I found out he's been a dick this whole time, even with the streaming, whatever it is. So I'm happy, Sean.
I mean, Sean Strickland's a dick too, to be fair. I mean, I don't know. I'm posting a bunch of stuff between Sean and this Bryce Hall guy in the comments right now if anybody would like to go see it. But Sean Strickland is seemingly becoming rather famous.
Bryce Hall won a fight in bare knuckle. He's not just an influencer. Kid can actually fight.
Yeah, I did see that people were saying he can actually fight. I don't know that he can actually fight, but I did see that some people were saying that. So after Sean Strickland beat up Sneeko, Brendan Schaub, Brendan Schaub. This was Brendan Schaub.
So this is all orchestrated. This is all designed, So I don't know. A bit of it makes me feel. Again, this might be my age showing. It seems just kind of scummy. I don't. It's just weird to me. I mean, I don't know the Cinco kid. I know he's talking shit about Mikey. That's our boy. It's weird to have a guy who was a former world champion just kind of tee off on him. Even though he asked for it, ignorance is bliss. The kid's an idiot, clearly, if you're going to get beat up by Sean Strickland. Sean Strickland's the perfect guy for it. And Sean, he says, I'm doing the Lord's work. I'm beating up influencers. But by partaking in it, Sean's influencing a significant amount of people as well. Like, we're all influencers. Now, Sean has way more skill and has earned his right to be an influencer in the fight space, right? He's the perfect guy to beat up these influencers,
So Nina Drama then came back with, here's the thing about Brendan Schaub. I love the guy, but take this as, but this take has to be more stupid than Sneeko agreeing to spar Sean Strickland, LOL. Brendan Schaub, do you really think Dana White and the UFC would risk it all for Sneeko and Sean Strickland? I have the answer. It's hell no. So that Sean made some comments on that, and then there's another tweet. I just put it in the comments somewhere. I'm sorry. I'm trying to flip back and forth between all of these. There's really no way to organize your bookmarks, guys. So then Brandon fired back saying, "Listen, here's the thing, Nina Marie. God damn it! Why did it clear it? Here's the thing, Nina Marie. Here's the thing about Nina Marie. Love the girl, but she's new. How long are we going to pretend the UFC has morals and this is such this is such a high reach. Maria, which I don't know if that's her name. Maria, you attend Power Slap events for starters, which was created by the ownership of the UFC. Legit MMA journalists are banned. Then he goes on for asking real questions and basically calls her a fluff interviewer. I'll be honest, he's jealous of Nina. Most of these media guys are. They're all very, very jealous of her, and it's very clear, which makes it hard for any validity on either side of the argument. But the reason I bring all of this up, and the reason, like, some of you guys might be like, what the fuck do we care about these people? This is what getting famous as a fighter is now. That dude, Bryce Hall, one of his platforms alone, he has 6.5 million followers. If you don't think that that matters, and like dudes like him have followers, they have young people who are on the internet all the time. If he's got 6.5 million followers, he's probably getting 6.5 million views plus on everything. Like, he's, man, this is becoming famous. What Brendan said about it all being calculated, I don't know if he was how in depth he was trying to say it, but like all of this is set up. Nina and Sean are besties because she is making him fucking famous. That is my opinion. Cade, go ahead.
Yeah, me personally, I don't really have a problem with Nina. I actually think sometimes, I mean, she can be annoying, but sometimes she could actually be really funny. And I'm sure she's actually a nice person. I think that the thing is maybe some media members are jealous of her. I don't really know. I couldn't tell you everybody's perspective on her, but I think the biggest problem that media has with Nina is that she's basically Dana White's puppet. Whatever he gets mad at, she gets mad at. So if he attacks a reporter, she's attacking that same reporter and using her platform now to attack that reporter. If a reporter makes a mistake or maybe doesn't post something that the UFC likes, and Dana doesn't have time to go attack them, she will. I mean, she, even before her and Helen became cool, you know, they had beef. Then she attacked the one guy from MMA fighting. Then she, you know, so I think that's why people in the media space are like, you know what, fuck her. But you know, one, I'm not even big enough to even have to deal with her or report anything yet to deal with her. So I've never had that type of interaction with her. I'm sure she's totally fine and nice. You know, she's just doing her job. But I think that's why people have a problem with her.
I think she's mistaken for a journalist. She's an influencer. She's
I
an
can agree with
influencer.
that. And she's not a journalist, and she's even
She's
said it.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. She's openly said, "I'm not a fucking journalist. I'm not MMA media." She has said that shit. So like, I don't know. I feel like there is
But
some jealousy because
I think a lot of people do. I think she does pick a lot of fights with people, though. Like, if she doesn't
she
like a
does.
certain take,
I'll
she'll
give you
go and
that.
attack
She
them, and then
does.
she'll play victim if that person gets pissed. I think Brendan Schaub handled it very well. What he did, to
Me
be
too.
honest with you, but I think honestly, like, you know, if you're gonna say something to somebody with a big platform, then that person with a big platform is gonna come back and defend themselves to you. So.
Yeah, and I also think she does that to a lot of people, them not realizing that she is strategically taking
Creating
followers.
engagement.
Yeah, she is strategically. If she attacks you and 100,000 people view it, and you have 200,000 followers, and she gets 5,000 follows from it, she literally probably views that as, well, I hit you. You were worth 5,000. Like, I'm not being dumb. Like, that's how influencers do. Influencers constantly fuck with each other, constantly talk shit about each other. Beef sells. The problem, the funniest thing about these influencers that I'm noticing, and I don't even know who any of them are, they all think they're fighters. They all have all this money, so they train in their gyms and get in shape, and most of them are in phenomenal shape. Doesn't make you a fucking fighter. I can promise you that, because Roy Nelson didn't give a fuck about being in shape, and he'll beat your ass to this day. So like, you know, I'm just I feel like these influencers think that they're fighters, and in their culture it's about stirring up beef. Nina is the in between. She's actually has an in MMA, and she has an in with these influencers clearly, because Sean wasn't getting all this attention in these meetings with these influencers until she was around. So I just think it's very calculated. I think that it flies under the radar, and I I think that Sean is, all he has to say is I fucking hate influencers, and everybody's like, yeah, he don't even like them guys. I think he has drinks with them afterwards. Like that's what I think. Maybe not literally, but like figuratively, like that's how I feel about it. All right, so that's the last one I have there. Andrew's got about a dozen fight announcements, he said, and then I've got three more topics that we'll probably spend 5 or 10 minutes each on, and we'll get the fuck out of here. Andrew, go ahead, bud.
All right, let's start it off. We don't have a lot of thrilling fight announcements this week, but that's okay. We're going to start it off. Umar Nurmagomedov is going to take on his little brother, Beksat Almakhan, at UFC Vegas 87 on March 2nd. Yeah, no idea who this guy is.
And if Umar wins, like I said in the group chat, he's gonna move up 5 spots up the rankings anyway.
I've been
Yeah.
waiting my
Believe.
whole life for this fight.
Really?
No, nobody knows who the fuck Bexar
I've
Amazikov
known
is.
his opponent since he was in diapers, bro. I've been watching
I
him on
can't
the
believe
regional
Andrew took the bait
scene,
on that.
and I really can't wait for him to fight. I'm a huge fan.
I know Daniel's about to say he's interested. Watch. Go ahead, bro.
He fights at ATT.
Yes, of course. I have him by decision. The Khabib bloodline.
Over Umar?
No, Umar is Nurmagomedov.
Oh.
That's Khabib's cousin.
All right, well that's okay.
Umar Nurmagomedov by decision.
What else you got, Andrew?
We got one fight announcement for UFC 299 on March 9th. Felipe Lins against Iwan Kutelaba. Yeah.
That's a lot of fun to watch. I don't
That's
give a
a
fuck what
banger.
anybody.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, Felipe
That is
Lins,
a
next question.
great fight. Don't bet on it unless you're just betting the under or the over, because you see that. Don't bet either side of that fight, though, please.
No, that's a free over. Everybody bet on that.
Bro, Kutalaba, that I'm skipping it. I'm skipping.
So with J Spec Spaces, he has this policy where if everyone is on the mic picks for a certain fighter, it's like a curse. The last time, I think it was either the last time or the time before that Kutalaba fought, all 10 of us in the space picked him to lose, and we were shit talking him. We got a knockout in the first round, and it was the funniest shit.
Man.
Yeah, he's not safe to bust. To bet.
We're going to move on to UFC Vegas 89, March 23rd. We have two dudes both making their UFC debuts after fighting on the Contender Series. Igor Da Silva and Andre Lima. Yeah. All right. UFC Vegas 90, April 6th. We have Jose Johnson taking on Lucas Rocha. Oh no, wait, don't worry, it gets better, because on April 27th, an event to be determined later, we have Dontel Mays taking on Caio Machado.
Heavyweight slap, let's go.
Oh yeah, dude, I feel like that's a free over right there.
Another free over.
Yep. So Mr. I got dogged out, no pun intended. Anshul Jubli is out against his fight with Mahashete. So Mahashete will now be taking on Gabriel Benitez. So yeah, I still think he's knocking him out.
Fair enough.
Same event. We have one more fight announcement. Austin Hubbard taking on Michael Figlock. Jeez, bro.
Big ones right
That's what I'm
there.
saying. Wait, now we have a couple fight
They
announcements.
can't sell tickets faster.
We have a couple announcements for UFC 301. That's May 4th. We have Dion. Is it Dion or Dione? Dion Barbosa taking on.
Dione
There you
Barboza.
go. She's taking on Ernesta Caracayete. Never heard of her, to be honest.
So I'm actually gonna reach out. I got a pretty good relationship with Dione. I'm gonna see if I can get her to come into space and just I don't know, promote herself. Little 15-minute interview. I think she'll do it for us. So I'll probably message her in the next couple weeks here.
Cool.
Go for it.
Same card. We have Joe Anderson Brito taking on Jack Shore. I actually think that'll be cool. We haven't seen Jack Shore in a while.
Yeah, so I think that's a banger of a fucking fight. I seen that one roll across, and I was like, man, that's a good fight.
Yep. We're moving on to an event to be determined later on May 11th. We're going to start it off with however long this fight lasts. T-Rex, Terrence McKinney taking on Esteban Ribovics. Banger.
3 under.
I swear, dude, I don't ever bet unders. And I remember looking at like McKinney's last under. I've never seen unders so fucking juiced in my life.
Yeah, I know. It'll be like fucking minus 500
Dude,
and shit.
yeah.
Like, what the
They're
hell?
just like, fuck you guys. You're not winning any money on that.
Yeah, they're like, we know what you know, bastards.
Yeah. We have a same card. This is actually a fight I'm excited for. Jake Hadley, he's going to be taking on Charles Johnson.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to this one too. I hope Johnson takes it. He's a good dude.
And Usman, go ahead and say it for us, bro.
That is another free over.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Energy. I get along with Energy on here too. I might man, he's got too much short notice going on, but afterwards I'm gonna probably try to hit him up too. I got a good relationship with him.
I've got just 2 fight announcements left. UFC 302 on June 1st. We have our first announcement. We have a thrilling Jocelyn Edwards taking on Eileen Perez.
Future
That
champ,
is
Eileen.
another free over.
Free as fuck.
And then I had to save the best for last. A UFC event to be determined later. It's May 18th. We have Emily Ducote taking on my girl, Low Monster, Vanessa Demopoulos. Let's go.
And
All right,
another
so
free over. Also,
yeah.
they just announced something right now, Andrew. The 2 fallouts between AJ Dobson and Trayshawn Gore, and what's his name, Edmund Shabazian versus who fucking knows. Now it's gonna be Edmund Shabazian versus AJ Dobson.
Yeah, and Melsick's out of the Fernie Garcia fight,
Nope,
right?
that would do that fight. No. Fernie just fought.
Oh yeah, that's an old one. I don't know why. What the fuck? I'm like, wait a minute. I was thinking that too. Why did those get set here? God damn it! Give me, bitch. So here's one that's probably full troll. But I'll post it up in the group real quick. So Ruben, I don't know who this guy is, but he's got 6,000 followers, and he got quoted on 2 different YouTube channels that have like 500,000 fucking followers. He says that Adesanya and Chimaev have inked a deal for June 22nd in Saudi Arabia.
Can I speak on that real
Hey,
quick?
props to that guy. That guy is a fake who releases fake news and has like 3 different accounts under 3 different names. But he gets his shit out there. So props to him.
Yeah, real talk. Fuck it. Cade, go ahead.
Uh, I actually, I can't really say like the names or anything like that, but I did have somebody tell me like that they had a pretty good source and that was like a fight that they were trying to get done for to headline Saudi Arabia. So if that gets announced, then yeah, that'd be interesting. But I was told that actually last week, so I wouldn't be
So
surprised.
Saudi Arabia would be very happy to get that as a main event or a co-main if they could get Islam too. But it's a non-pay-per-view, so I don't think they're getting Islam. So if they're not getting a title fight, that is a Saudi Arabia non-title fight caliber main event, in my opinion. Makes a lot of sense. Saudi Arabia wants a lot. I put it in the comments, boys. I posted it like 20 minutes ago. If you scroll down, you'll see the picture of Chimaev and Adesanya.
It almost seems too good just to be a fight night headline. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree. Okay, so what else do we got here? Andrew, are you done with announcements?
Yes.
I thought so.
Wow, those fights were amazing, though.
Felice Herrig retired. I know it's not big news, but she's 39 years old, 4 losses in a row. Yeah, it was time. She said her body just can't recover anymore.
She put her gloves down in her last fight.
Yeah, but I guess she went to social to say she officially retired now. Like I don't know. I agree with, but it was on 3 channels,
I
so
got you.
it had to be. Junior Dos Santos will fight Alan Belcher in March at Jorge's bare knuckle promotion. We may have talked about that before, but it's surfacing again because they got a little beef between them, a little heat. And I just like to shout out old guys that still fight. So shout out Junior Dos Santos for doing bare knuckle. I love it. I think it's get them paychecks. I don't know what Jorge's paying, but get them paychecks. It is not a smart move for any of them guys to go over to BKFC right now because if you're heavyweight, fucking Ben Rothwell is over there just fucking killing people. Like, fuck, he loves that shit. All right, last few topics I got here. So these are the pressure points. Before I run pressure points, I should have probably ran this 40 minutes ago, but we got to talking. So one time for the people who aren't familiar with Cap MMA and everything that we do.
Hey guys, it's Darce again. This time I want to remind you to visit our site capmma.com. Our odds board is connected to over 50 sports books. If a book is offering fight odds, CAP MMA will have them. Why go to Capma for your odds? There's a couple reasons. We have several quick visual markers to speed up what you're looking for. We highlight the best odds, the worst odds, line movements, and flips. While you're there, don't forget to check out our Parlay Calculator. It allows you to compare live odds at every book with a few simple clicks. Turn parlays to on and check the compare button. You might think you're getting the best returns for your money. We want to help you make sure. We have live rankings, betting tools, external resource listings, and the most up-to-date headlines from the best news sources. And the best part is you'll never have to leave the odds board for any of it. Not to mention it's both free and AD-free. CapMMA.com.
See why I don't have them all cut yet? Because it won't pronounce all that shit. I got it to pronounce. I had to go in and misspell a bunch of shit for the intro to get it to pronounce it all right. I'm going to have to go through and do it for the plug, but we'll get the plugs all worked out too. I like them that way. I should have been more on pace with hitting the plug. It's supposed to be open on the hour, and then we're out after 2. So I was super late today, but I knew that one was going to be fucked up because it went off live, not pre-recorded. The open went off pre-recorded. That's all set up, and we have that as a permanent thing now for Tuesday. I'm gonna get Trace one for Friday, and I'll get the Usman and Rhino one for Sunday by the time I'm done with all of it. So we'll have them everywhere. We'll have the plug everywhere. We do put a lot of time and effort into all this, so we should be plugging it. Okay, so in a deposition, Dana White called Scott Coker a bad promoter, saying he relied on fighters with heavy name value. He noted that Ronda Rousey wasn't a star until he made it. He made her into one, or until she made it into the UFC, rather. Some people are referencing Dana's previous comments, saying that Ronda was a star already when she got into the UFC. This is back when he was promoting her. There is some of that. Dana's just being a good promoter, telling you she's the greatest thing since shoestrings, right? Show of hand, how many people here knew who Ronda Rousey was before the UFC took on women's divisions? Okay, so
What'd you say?
there, did you know who Ronda Rousey was before she was in the UFC?
Who?
Before they bought Strikeforce?
Who?
Ronda Rousey?
Who? Before USC, the answer is who?
All right. Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, so there is some validity to she wasn't a star, but there is also validity to the women's divisions was one of the reasons the UFC wanted Strikeforce. Ronda Rousey was a star. She was doing TV shows. She was doing talk shows like Late Night. She was breaking through, and she wasn't in the UFC.
I was going to say, a fight with
Yeah,
Misha, the first one, did pretty well, didn't it?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like the thing about it is she was a star, but she was not the star that she was when she
She was
left the
basically what
UFC.
Gina Carano was.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, she was. She was as famous. She was more famous than Misha Tate. That's what I'll say. She was more famous than Misha Tate. Misha Tate was very famous for female fighters at the time. Um, I don't know. There's some validity to what he said, because he can look back in retrospect and see where she landed. Um, but there's also validity to Ronda was a star before she got to the UFC. And she's the reason that they started women's MMA. Daniel, go ahead. Or the UFC entered it, not it was started, that the UFC started women's MMA. Daniel, go ahead.
Yeah, like when I first discovered when someone just said, "Hey, look at this girl who popped this other girl's elbow," and that's when I found out who Ronda was. I didn't know what Strikeforce was at the time. That's just how so you could say I knew, but not really. That makes sense.
If I'm being honest, Ronda Rousey was one of the most important parts of the big MMA boom. She was performing consistently. Um, she was Ronda Rousey was very, very important, and she did change MMA. People can fucking hate on her all they want. She changed MMA. Her and Conor McGregor were worth about $4 billion, and the proof is that's what Endeavor paid. Without them two, that sale never happened like that. Average, go ahead.
Just to quickly piggyback on the fact that we're like the social media era, like sort of started during that time. The fact that her fight clips were so short, her fights were lasting a minute, not even, really helped, I think.
Yeah, she was the perfect. They say the perfect storm, the perfect this. Rhonda was doing her bid too. Rhonda was doing short interviews. Rhonda was trying to be sharp witted. I didn't really care for her wit. But you had Connor over there getting clicks for his mouth, and he was knocking people out. It was the two of them. It wasn't Connor. Connor without Ronda would not have orbited the orbited MM. So Ronda Rousey is the reason that YouTube was going crazy. Ronda Rousey is the reason that it started, in my opinion. Conor McGregor capitalized on it immediately and became ultra famous. A lot of casual fans found out who Jose Aldo was leading up to him fighting Conor McGregor. And that's a sad truth. A lot of people who watched that fight were calling, oh, this is the greatest, this is the GOAT, this is the this. Everybody I knew watched that fight. None of them could name one fucking person Jose Aldo had beaten. Not a single fucking person. None of them. So, like, they were told he was the GOAT, and Conor fucking starched him. It was just a perfect storm, man. It was, but Ronda was little girls can go now. We can watch this at home. You can turn it on the TV. This is okay. Little girls can do this now. And that might seem dumb to us sitting in here as men, but as a father, I'm telling you, it matters. No man will ever sell the albums that Taylor Swift sells. It's just, it is what it is. Um, Ronda Rousey was probably a higher value commodity until she got knocked out than Conor McGregor was, in my opinion. Daniel, go ahead.
Actually, I knew who Jose Aldo was when he first defended the belt in UFC. Like, I didn't know what WEC was until
I'm
after the
not
merger.
saying you didn't know, bro. I wasn't saying you personally. I'm just saying a lot of people.
I guess I just pay more attention. I don't know.
No, I'm just saying, like, don't. I wasn't attacking you if that's what you thought. Like, I wasn't trying to
Oh,
say
no.
you didn't
I
know.
never feel attacked by you. I feel safe around you and Cal.
Oh, you're right about the whole without Connor, Ronda would. Pardon me, without Ronda, Connor would be nothing. I mean, Ronda broke 1 million pay-per-views before Connor did.
You're goddamn right. She did. Bro, go look at her lines. Connor's lines came later. Go look at her lines at fanfares. Go look at the lead ups, the build ups to her fight. They were around the block. They were down the street. They were there. If it was a 1 hour session, there were 15 hours worth of people that lined up, just somehow, some way hoping that they would meet her. It was fucking insane. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. But the reason I bring these depositions and this shit up in the pressure points in the later parts of the space is because this is all stuff that's going to matter in the antitrust. I'm hoping that when we get to the end of the antitrust that I will have brought up enough important things and kept everybody that comes here every week informed enough that when they start talking about the result because of this and because of that, I'm hoping all you guys will be like, oh yeah, I know about this and I know about that. I don't really know why I know about it, but I know about it. It'll be because I was in here telling you about it every week. So that's why that stuff makes the pressure points. So Dana White recently had here's a chain of event, guys. I'll land with a point, but here's a short chain of event. Dana White recently had a meeting with Matchroom's Eddie Hearn and some associated boxers. Katie Taylor, a few other people, Ben, a few other people, right? Eddie posted photos. Eddie posted photos. Dana White went to a boxing event with Eddie Hearn and not UFC Vegas 85. Dana did not post photos. Other folks did. Uh, David Dana White recently had a meeting with David Feldman, owner of BKFC. David Feldman posted pictures. It appeared as though Dana hosted Eddie at the UFC headquarters. It also appeared that he hosted David Feldman at the UFC headquarters. Dana has now also had a meeting with, and I say it wrong, I believe, but I believe it's Nobuki Sekibara. I know I say it fucked up. It's the dude that founded Pride and then founded Risen in 15.
Oh, Sakuraba.
Yes. So they flew him out from the looks of it. I guess I shouldn't say that. He could have flown himself out there, but he took pictures in front of the headquarters and took the same picture in the same room as I seen Eddie Hearn get a picture, and the same room as I seen David Feldman get a picture. He took a picture with Dana White, and he teased big news coming. Man. So then there was this right here. Shout out to the Overdogs podcast. Them guys are killing it out here. They're putting in big work, big promotion. They did some stuff with John Jones. These guys are absolutely killing it. This clip is circulating the internet quite heavily, so I feel like it would be okay for us to play this so that we can discuss it. This is a 26-second clip of Mike Perry talking, posted by Championship Rounds on the Overdogs podcast with Home of Fight.
And he was talking to somebody credible, and he said something about there was an offer made to purchase BKFC. Interesting. And I think it was, a low ball offer, $200 million for the BKFC. This is. Hey, can I expand on that a little bit? And Feldman said no.
Damn. So that's Mike Perry. When I went to write this up, was overly confident that I had bookmarked a David Feldman saying it, and I can't find it. I searched. I probably spent 10, 20 minutes searching for it. I also can't find the photo of Eddie Hearn at the PI that I posted 2 weeks ago that I can find on my timeline, but it's like scrubbed from fucking Google. I don't know. It's weird. So sorry about that, guys. So I thought I seen that David Feldman said it directly as well. I'm not sure if these meetings are Dana White beginning to build relationships, and I've alluded to this before, beginning to build relationships with other promoters that are not necessarily his direct competition, so that the UFC looks a certain way now. Like I've alluded before, if the UFC can show like, hey man, we were figuring it out. Yeah, okay, even if you take some money from us, you don't have to regulate us. We were figuring it out, and look what we do now. Look at all the great stuff we do now. And a lot of fighters would do better in BKFC than they would in the UFC. And if Dana has a way to kind of push them guys over there while keeping them under MMA contracts, there could have been a situation where they pre-negotiated what a UFC BKFC contract looks like. Could have been a meeting offering $200 million. I don't know. It seems like Dana's meeting with a lot of people, and maybe TKO is looking to expand because they are a talent agency. But in face of the UFC's antitrust, buying Risen and buying and or BKFC and buying or purchasing part of or partnering with Matchroom Boxing, I don't know. It seems like it would be suicide for them. It seems like building relationships and doing things indirectly through these promotions, controlling them like they do some of the smaller promotions, would make much more sense. I don't know. It was one I just couldn't ignore. But if they are trying to buy BKFC, that would be a bold move, and I would understand it. I would understand. They have Slap now. I know it's Dana's, but we all know where that shit's going. Yeah, I just see that. I really think Slap is more about Dana being able to own a sport that he can own the sport at this point, and not really about anything else. All right, I see no hands on that one, so fuck you guys then. I'll just keep babbling on here. Dana. Oh man, you want me to repeat it
No,
all?
it's okay.
No. Um, Dana White walked out in the middle of the Howie Mandel podcast saying some shit like, man, thank you for all the kind words, but I'm done with podcasts. I can't do this shit anymore. That's it for me. See you and walk the fuck
So
out.
there's speculation that that was a work too.
Really?
Speculation.
So I speculate that Dana White has been asked the exact same questions by everybody nonstop. Each interview, one or two questions disappears and one or two new ones reappear, but he has to answer the same questions every fucking interview he does. I would understand if he's just done appearing on full-length podcasts. I would get it. I would get it. I understand why he makes people interview him from the war room. Like, look, bro, I'm at work. These are my work hours. I can put it aside for you here at work, but I'm at fucking work. Yeah, I don't know. If it was a work and there's something in it that sells something or does something, that's great. But I don't know. Dana can't go recluse with all of this though. Like that would hurt the promotion quite a bit. Dana's very famous. He's very, very famous. So I think it would hurt everything if if he stops doing interviews and stops talking. I think it hurts everything quite a bit. After that, all I have is this is it. Where the fuck is it? No, I
I think
can't
it would be
find it.
hard to be Dana in that respect, dude. Like a lot of the people, whenever he goes on a podcast, they don't know half of what this man does. They don't keep up the fight game. They're not in the Cap MMA spaces at 12 p.m. on a fucking Wednesday morning. Like most people don't
Beautiful
keep
Yeah,
up
plug.
with this shit. It would be
Beautiful
really
plug.
hard if you were him.
that was a nice plug. I appreciate that one. That was nice. I liked it. I'm not gonna lie. So here I'm gonna post it in the comments. Someone can pin it if they'd like. This is the Bellator Belfast card. I would like everybody to open it real quick. Give it a look. It'll only take us all 30 seconds here. Maybe 60 if you really want to dig in and see that Tim Kennedy or Jeremy Kennedy is fighting James Gallagher. My question is, in standing next to a UFC card, is this a Apex fight night, a stadium fight night, a pay-per-view, or a feature pay-per-view? Where does this card rank if all these guys signed with the UFC today and the UFC puts this exact card together? Tell me where this card is as a UFC fan.
Joe, that's a
Tell me where this
rhetorical
card.
question, bro.
I'm
Apex
very
fight
serious.
Bro, you know
night.
this is an Apex fucking event.
I feel like it could be a UFC Ireland fight night.
Nah.
Yeah, bro. Everybody can't wait to see Tofik Muzayev fight fucking
Alfie
Alfie
Davis.
Davis.
Bro, Alfie
Can't
Davis,
wait, bro.
man.
Can't wait.
Bros, James Gallagher, Jeremy Kennedy,
Bro, when you say James Gallagher,
The
Fabian
dude,
original
isn't that
McGregor
that
clone.
like
Nah, I'm
Leon
right. Thank you.
is
Edwards.
that dude that smashes pumpkins with a fucking or watermelons
Okay,
with the hammer?
now, all right, let Connor get it, and then I gotta go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, I think this card is a lot better than Apex cards that have been put out lately. This card's better than the last Apex card that they had. This is like, this is like it's gonna be in Ireland. I'm pretty sure.
Seriously?
I think that's a good venue for it. So it's definitely better than Apex card or an Apex arena type.
Connor, shut
You
the hell
wild,
up.
bro. What the fuck?
100%
Man.
better. 100%
Whoa,
better.
hey.
Hey,
How about this?
100% better
How
than
about this?
Apex.
How about this? You could put if this was the card, this is 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. If this was the card, the whole card, and as the main event, you moved Leon Edwards, Bilal Muhammad, and then as the feature fight, not the co-main, you gotta break it up a little bit. Maybe even the opener, the Terrence McKinney fight that's coming up. This is UFC 304. What you guys talking about?
Bro, if you tried selling this as a UFC card, you have like 4, maybe 5 people that or 5 names that people will recognize, and they're going to look at everybody else as, man, this whole card is people that are debuting in the UFC. That is how people will look at it.
Yeah, but
There's no way people are going to pay
how
money
much
for that.
Bro, I think you guys are
how
low
much
key a
better?
little disrespectful. Jeremy Kennedy is a fucking stud.
So, all right, I know it's not really all that, but I think a lot of these guys could fight in the
They
UFC.
could. And I think people
Some
in
of
the
them
States
I
do
have.
just,
that.
I some of them have you.
I'm not, by the way, when I say some of these guys can fight in the UFC, I'm not talking about these old motherfuckers that are 38, 39 years old. But no, I think
I
there's
know
some
what
young
you're saying.
talent in that fucking organization that would love to get out of their fucking bullshit ass contract right now and come fight.
I feel so bad that all them Bellator fighters got consumed by PFL, bro. I feel so bad. That was such a good promotion. Like, fuck what everybody wants to hate on. It was a great promotion. I'm super pissed about it. It's the only thing I've ever agreed with Ali Abdelaziz about, I think. I don't know who was up first, but I've heard from Usman the least. So Usman.
No, I'll make it quick. The only thing I gotta say is feel bad for Leo McCourt. They basically ended Bellator with saying that she's got the next title shot, and now they're just using her for a co-main event to fucking fight Sinead O'Connor. That sucks ass.
Sinead O'Connor. Sinead Kavanaugh.
Oh yeah, what the fuck? You said that the second time, and I was like, yeah, dude, Sinead O'Connor. What the fuck? You can't read?
The singer
All right,
who's dead.
R.I.P. R.I.P.
You know what was crazy is how much Dana White was talking about he loved her after she died. I'm like, where the fuck did this come from? He's like, she was a great person, a good friend of mine. I was like, what the fuck? Connor J.
Yeah, I'm looking at this card. I'd say a good 2 or 3. They would probably just like the Gallagher fight, the Corey Anderson fight, the Sinead Kavanaugh fight. They'd probably just take those 3 fights and spread them out on Apex main events. Like, yeah, you could definitely sell this especially as an Ireland like arena fight, like they're doing. Yeah, 100%.
Main events, no fucking way. Only Corey Anderson gets main event
Did you
treatment
see
there.
they're having Jairzinho Rosenstrike versus I can't remember the other
He
guy main
got you.
eventing
He got you.
Yeah.
He
Okay. Yeah.
got
main
you,
Everybody's
eventing
Usman.
an
talking
Apex
about
card.
fucking Jairzinho
Rose
Rosenstrike
and
having
Lemos are
so
him.
many fucking main events. Yeah, it's because he gets set up so that he can get knocked the fuck out by Francis
Is that
Ngannou and
Rose
Usman? Is
number
that a
Poirier.
good
units and
fight?
Amanda
Usman, is
Lemos
that
are
a good fight?
headlining.
Usman, 3 of those fights
Oh,
on that Bellator card are better than that Jairzinho fight.
Connor, you got to realize that the way that like the common people will look at this shit. Common people will look at that main event and go, Corey Anderson Isn't that guy that got fucking knocked out a couple times and left the UFC because he couldn't handle it anymore? That is how
Exactly.
people will look at it.
Hey, I
You
think
cannot
Corey.
sell that fight.
I'm talking
Hey,
about it being in Ireland. I'm talking about
hey,
it being
I
in
think
Ireland.
Corey Anderson's that same guy will go to that promotion or that will go to that same promotion that you love, Andrew, and beat the shit out of everybody in that division.
Not
Yeah.
everybody. I'm not saying they
A
can't
lot of
compete,
them.
bro. You guys aren't listening.
Who beat
I'm not
him?
saying they can't compete. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you cannot sell this whole card in its entirety as a UFC card because
They've sold
nobody
worse.
knows who they are.
This is the same guy who talks to us about PFL and how great it is.
Yeah, dude, you got to realize I'm joking around about it. But again, the question is, can this sell as a UFC card? It cannot. Nobody knows who these people are. And I don't say that
That was the
disrespectfully.
question.
I'm saying
I
that anyone outside of hardcores has no fucking idea who these people are. So how can you sell that? How can that
Why
make
can't
money?
the UFC sell this in Ireland like Bellator is?
As a fight night?
Yeah, I'm not saying this is a pay-per-view.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
saying
yeah,
that this would be a
there's
fight.
always the argument that you could mimic it, right? But then there's the argument if they're doing Apex shows, is this card worth going to Belfast, or would they put this one in the Apex and then do a better card in Belfast if they're going to be on the road? That's my point. Where does this exact card place as a UFC card? For me, it's an Apex card, and it's a really good Apex card. But on a road card,
It wouldn't
it
even
would.
sell at an arena fight. It
I
wouldn't.
don't think it
Oh,
would.
100% it would.
Thank you.
If this is a UFC
It
event,
wouldn't.
100% it would.
It would bloody not.
No, look, it maybe if this was back in 2017 when UFC was making their runs at doing fucking UFC Sweden and all those other fucking things, maybe we can have a fight night like this. Nowadays, this is an Apex card, and I don't even say it's a good Apex card. That's the only thing that it is. Connor, you're 100%. They're selling it in Ireland because fucking Bellator has put down some roots in Ireland and they've made that one of the key spots. The whole fucking country of Ireland knows when Bellator comes, we're getting fucking 10 of our fighters on there. They're all local dudes and fucking the tickets are probably dirt cheap and we all get to get drunk and have a good ass time. Like I said, back in 2016, when UFC was making their runs and doing fucking UFC Poland, it could happen. Nowadays, this is an I'm not even gonna say it okay fucking Apex card. Because as much as everybody likes to shit on the fucking Apex cards that we have now, I'd much rather see fucking Gregory Rodriguez versus fucking Brandon Tavares than any of these fucking guys.
Hey, if anyone has the answer to this question, please let me know. The arena that they will be fighting at for this specific card, how many seats does it have? Does anyone know that answer?
No, but I will find out for you. So it's not real because I believe it is 20,000. Is what I seen, like 18 and some change. Bell. Here we go. Arena Belfast capacity
11,000.
11,000.
11,000. That's half of what a UFC event would be. That's half.
Yeah, Dana.
That's half.
Dana won't do a bill that's less than 20 grand.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I'm not saying this to be disrespectful. I would watch this shit, me myself. But I'm saying in terms of a business
Oh,
plan,
I'm gonna.
there's no fucking way you can sell this shit.
Yeah, but we're not talking about who's going to watch it out of Boston, who's not going to. We're talking about what sells.
And that's what I'm saying. This shit would not sell.
Exactly. The UFC could not take a fight, a card like this to Ireland. They would need like an Ian Gary headlining.
Yeah, I think if you added two, maybe three key fights, they could sell it, but not the way it stands. Young YB.
I just wanted to say that I'm like really impressed for Corey Anderson fighting at 75 years old. I'm really glad to see him doing the damn thing, you know?
George Foreman, the George Foreman recipe. Connor J.
Yeah, I just disagree. I think in this I guess I'm angling this from the hypothetical that the UFC would take this card and still do like what Bellator is doing, like making it in Ireland. Like they're just taking this and like putting the UFC brand on it. They would 100% still sell out. I think they would. UFC is bigger than Bellator, even in Ireland. The UFC is the biggest
Dude, I would
promotion in
hope
the
they
world.
could sell out 11,000 fucking seats.
That's what I'm saying. Then okay, that's what. Yeah, then well, I don't know what the confusion is. I guess we just disagree on that. But
The
So
confusion
and
is
this
what
card is
that
we're
way better
they
saying,
than Apex.
all we're saying, Connor, is do you think it could sell 20,000 seats as a UFC card with no changes?
Does this?
Because the UFC won't go anywhere that's not 20,000 seats.
I'm not right, but I'm not arguing that they should do that. I'm saying that would the UFC sell out in this scenario that the Bellator is proposing? I'm not saying like this is a great card or anything. I'm just saying that it's
I'm validating your point. I agree that they could sell out this
no. I don't
11,000
think.
seats.
All
Wait,
right, put it in the O2 in Ireland. Does it sell out?
well, are they going there?
No, they're not. Put it in
Okay,
the O2 in Ireland, which is the bigger arena. Does it sell out?
right, but they're not going there.
No.
My point is what they're doing now. I think the UFC like yeah, this what Bellator is doing, the UFC could do exactly that and still be fine.
But it wouldn't be profitable for the UFC. The UFC, when they take, so here's the big thing, and even Ariel has finally had to come around to admitting it. Ha 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 ha. It costs a lot of money to put a UFC event on. If they can't sell 20,000 tickets, they can't cover the gate. And it's easy to say, well, they can lose money, they can afford it. Why the fuck would they do that? They built the Apex so they don't have to lose money or bust even or go $45 million in debt fucking putting on fights. They don't have to do that anymore. They have the Apex. So
who the fuck
I
builds a business and says, "Oh yeah, it's okay. I can lose money."
yeah, never. So like I I do agree that they could follow this recipe, but they would not. I think if you took this card and added some fights, you could sell out 20,000 fucking people, no problem. But if it was like I phrased it, this exact card, it lands in the apex for the UFC. Because the UFC has enough star power and few enough live shows right now that these guys just wouldn't make it. I shouldn't say that though, because like I'm placing that card, but if these guys all got placed in the UFC individually, James Gallagher, regardless of his record, would make a UFC pay-per-view. Fabian Edwards would make a pay-per-view. Liam McCourt would make a pay-per-view. They would all definitely make a pay-per-view in 2024 if they got signed right now,
Sure.
in my opinion. So,
Yeah, I can agree to that.
you
Yeah,
know,
absolutely.
you know, it's not like there's absolutely no one there, but this card itself probably just couldn't hit the
Yeah,
pay-per-view
dude.
marker.
And for the record, I do definitely think that if Corey Davis or Corey Anderson were in the UFC right now, I still think he's a top 10 light heavyweight.
I think he's a top 3 or 5. Corey is at light heavyweight, bro. Let's be honest. He's a top 4, like champ, and then top 3. He's in that mix, and like the UFC let him go because they were afraid of that shit when he got knocked out, and the doctors couldn't diagnose it and all that shit, and they didn't know if he should fight, and they didn't have health care back then, which they do now. But Bellator spent more testing and was like, yeah, you're good to fight. Go ahead. So, Corey kind of got let go out of fear. Corey is a monster, and I still think, like, if I'm being 100% honest, Corey could maybe be the UFC champion right now. If I'm being honest, I really.
Nah, he's not touching AP. No shot. No shot. Dude, don't forget about the chin.
He beats Blachowicz though.
Huh?
He beat. So
Yeah,
I
but
got the on
Blachowicz
cap.
is like 40.
Okay, but I got the live rankings up. Plug for us, capmma.com. When you go to our board, you click UFC rankings. That's live, guys. If you've never been there, it's live. It's not delay. It's not yesterday's shit. It is live. So when I go over there to light heavyweight, he so he could beat Yuri. He could beat. Yeah, I'm looking at the top 5. I think he could beat I think Rakic, I think he could beat him, but I think that would be a tough fight. I think he could beat Jan. I think he could beat Magomed. I think he could beat Yuri. I think him and Jamal. I think Jamal might crack him, but I think he could crack Jamal as well. And I will agree with you that AP is probably too much of a problem for him because of sheer size. But Corey is still in that top conversation without a doubt, in my opinion. And I don't give that shit to many Bellator PFL fighters. I just don't. However, I think Khalil Roundtree would beat the dog shit out of Corey Anderson, and he's number 8 right now. So, there is that. There are guys that I think in the UFC
That's what I'm saying.
that
Top
would be
10. Top 10
horrible
makes sense
matchups.
for him.
Yeah, that's fair. I think Khalil can beat a few of them guys up there, but that's another conversation. All right, so as for my write-ups, that's all I have. Gray all of this out. I hit the Junior Dos Santos.
I can't wait for that
Let me
MVP
see.
fight, bro. I'm stoked for that.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. All right, so 10 minutes flat because I'm cutting it off. Andrew, what fights are you looking at this weekend? Like, what are your must-play fights for this weekend?
Oh, God, I got to pull it up. You pulled me up on the spot.
So, I think that the Amanda Lemos and Mackenzie Dern over. I don't care what it is. It's a must-play.
I think I'm going to lay off that fight, personally.
Really?
Yeah.
It's fucking free
It's just,
overs.
dude,
Free
I
as
don't know, bro.
fuck.
It's just one of those things where I'm sitting there going, I don't see how Lemos loses, but then in some world, I see her getting caught. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fucking lay off. Who do I like?
So,
I like Delima. I like Fluffy. I like Marab. And I like Ian Gary. That's who I like
so I
off the
wish I
bat.
could get. If I could get the overs right now, I'm just clicking to see how many they have. Fuck. Okay, so I would play, and I probably will play. I think you could take the over on the Ian Gary Jeff Neal fight. Oh, that's over 2.5. So I think you can take the over 1.5 on that fight, if they offer that as an alternative.
Got to take the
So that's
over on the
my.
Marab fight, too.
Yeah, that's the other one I was getting ready to go to. So I like the over on the Marab fight. That is, but how many rounds is that at? Over 2.5. Yeah, I'd take over 2.5 on that one.
What do you think about over 1.5 for Whitaker and Costa? If it actually happens.
Oh, I think that's easy money.
I'm thinking that too. I don't think either one of them is just going to go out there and fucking start one. But
I'm building this parlay right here, bro. I'm about to play this. So over 1.5 for Rob and Paulo. Over 2.5 for Marab Cejudo. Over 1.5 for Neil Ian Gary. I wonder what the line is on the 1.5. So the over 2.5 is minus 313 for Cejudo. If I go to the alternatives on it, though, they still haven't put it out. So, what was the other over I was just looking at?
there's a chalk one if you want it. It's the Lee and Maverick fight, but it's going to be super chalk. It's probably like 3-1.
Oh, I'm sure. And then you've got, so I think the Dern fight goes over. And then probably the Maverick fight.
Daniel, what's up, bro?
Oh, I wasn't looking down, bro. My bad.
Well, two of Carl's Vera. Look, I trained with this brother Miguel for a long time here in Louisiana. I'm looking forward to that fight. But secondly, Jeff Neal versus Ian Gary. By God, I want that white man to just be knocked out. I really do.
Hey, why's he got to be
Black
white?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He is
bro.
a
We
white.
don't get
He
down
is a
like that,
white
right?
man, and I can say that because I'm mixed, white, Hispanic. I can call him a cracker if I want to.
The fuck you can.
Okay. Anyway, Jeff Neal. I want him to KO that white man.
Jesus, man.
I can say it because I'm mixed. I don't know about you, but I
I
can.
thought you
Hey,
were
I'm
No
white
matter.
black,
and I call
Daniel.
myself a cracker, so.
Did that cracker hit you?
All right, we're done with this conversation. So I think Ilya gets the W. I think I'm gonna do the over 1.5 on the Costa versus Whitaker fight. I'm about to do a parlay for this whole fucking card, and I'm about to play it right now.
All I'll tell you is I'm going to be a very happy Australian come the next day or a very depressed Australian come the next day.
I'll probably be biting my nails, but I'm gonna take the over 1.5 on the Jeff Neal, Ian Gary fight. I'm gonna take the.
Are you just making like an irrational parlay bet right now?
No, I'm actually trying to just look at each fight and to make a quick bet. If I was gonna drop something, I'd drop it. I'm gonna take Kapilov's money line. I'm gonna take Delima's money line. I'm gonna take Nakamura's money line. I'm gonna take Zhang's money line. I'm gonna take the Val Woodburn under 2.5 for that fight. I'm gonna take the over 2.5 in the Andrea Lee fight.
I was going to
And
say all of us are throwing support behind Maverick, right? Because she supported us before.
hell yeah. Man, Miranda Maverick, I'm about to start buying her pickles soon. Fuck it. I don't care. I'm gonna start buying them shits. She's yep. I'm actually yeah. I'm gonna buy some of them pickles for sure. I've been meaning to do it like twice, and I never fucking remember, to be honest, because my wife will go buy a jar, and then I'm like, oh, next week or what the fuck ever, and then you know how that shit goes. But anyway, so I get plus 23,193. I skipped the Quinlan Barlow fight because I did it on an accident, and I don't want to double back now. So if I put $10 on this, I get $2,300. But I'm gonna do $5 for $1,164 return. I'm gonna bet that shit right now. Wow. Log in, motherfucker. That's all I got. I got nothing else. YB, go ahead.
Joe, I was gonna say for one, definitely put that in the chat so we can see it and save it and blah blah blah. Also, I wanted to give out my buddy Boy Max in the chat today had said it. I said it the other day or yesterday, whenever it was. Ian Gary by submission. I like this fight a lot. If that was where he was gonna hit it, that'd probably be it because I don't see him knocking Neal out. Also, Delima by submission obviously is kind of, Justin's going to roll over like a fat boy and give him his neck. And then Val Woodburn by KO, they gave him last time he fought. Obviously, they said, here, fight Bo Nickel, we'll give you a contract. Now he's getting a favorable fight compared to that. The boy's got hands. I'm pretty sure you said that the other day, yesterday, whenever it was, Sunday, Stace. So that's all I had.
All right, so I placed that bet. That's $5 for $1,164, and then I want to know if I can bet Jeff Neal by knockout right now because I fucking hate Ian Gary. Just give me that fucking knockout prop.
Look
Let's
for
see.
round 3 and tell us what it is, because that would be most likely like a Neil Magny situation versus Mallet.
Jeff Neal round 3 KO TKO plus 1,600.
Damn, that's kind of low.
Yeah, because it's not super duper crazy. It's just, they think Ian Gary's the side. So I can get Neal Plus 400 by KO. I just hate Ian Gary. I'm gonna fade him until I get him. So I bet that shit too. Fuck Ian Gary. I don't like him.
Round 1 Topuria submission is like plus 1400 as well. Volk is gonna get fucked up this fight.
Damn, you think round 1, huh?
Bro, I'm
All
sorry,
I'll
Volk
say is,
just isn't gonna do it.
I
all I'll
do.
say is,
Jeff Neal.
if my Australians lose, please be kind to me.
Topuria is gonna knock him down, and he's gonna latch up a submission, and Volk is gonna go to fucking sleep.
Come on, bro. I need that shit to happen over.
Same here. Submission by choke.
But listen,
You
I need
guys
that shit to
suck.
happen over 2.5 rounds. So like, I don't really care about like your fuck all that. What I need is for it to go over.
I could see
That's
it
what
in
I
round
need.
3, but regardless, I just know Topuria is gonna win by sub. I just see it as most likely. And then we get a rematch because he's the 145 GOAT, and then he beats Volk by decision.
All right, so the 2-5 in the Marab fight, the 1-5 in the Costa fight, the 2-5 in the Lemos, the Lee fight. I just took Ilya's money line. I'm not dumb. Ha! Volk's fucking losing no matter what. Any
Bump
old
your
way.
fucking head. Don't go sleep on that shit.
I'm gonna go ahead and stop the space right there. That's 2 hours and 20 something minutes. I don't have a proper outro by our dude Darce, but you know, yeah, I'll try to work on that. Andrew, you got anything you want to say or do before we get out of here and I plug the space?
If you're gonna plug
Or
the
plug
space,
here?
I got nothing. Appreciate you guys for coming out. We'll see you on Friday.
Sweet. All right. So anybody in here that doesn't know, or even if you do know, I'm gonna keep saying it so that you remember if you're home, and if you're not doing nothing, we do 3 spaces every week. We do Tuesday night, Friday night, and Sunday night, same time. When there's no fight cards, some of them spaces disappear. Tuesday's always here. We cover headlines, topics. We don't do too much of the card. I'm trying to hit on it a little bit because I know some guys have requested it in the inbox. But this is mostly the headlines, the topics, the news, and the fight announcements. Friday night we do bet review, fight breakdowns, things like that. Sunday is the bet review and the card review. We try to cover everything. Tonight is typically the longest space. Friday's about an hour and a half, 2 hours, and Sunday's about an hour, hour and a half. Everybody over here's putting in time. Give us a follow if you haven't already. YouTube, we just type in Cap MMA. You'll see our logo. Give us a follow there. Pretty soon, we're already signed up, but there's no sense in following us yet. But we're going to be live on several platforms soon. When we go live on Tuesday nights, it'll be on YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, Spotify, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. That's either next week or the week after. We'll be live on all of those every time we go live. So that'll be something big for our small little channel there, which is pretty cool. So you'll be able to, wherever you listen, hopefully you'll want to listen to us when you can't tune in at night. We get some decent plays over there on YouTube. CapMMA.com, our odds board is pretty kick-ass because fuck, man, we've been working on it. I've been working on it forever. Right now, I'm working on adding tail of the tape. There's a few infrastructure changes happening to the board so that way it can handle it better. We got money line odds from usually about 35 books, but we're tied to over 50. It's actually over 60 now, but there's usually about 30, 35 of them reporting. You can get the money line odds. We got over unders. They're a little glitchy if you click rounds. Soon as we get tail of the tape in, we're going to get the over-unders and some more props all sorted out. We have a parlay calculator. Just click parlays on, and then you can build up parlays at any book. If you click the compare button or check the compare box, you can build the same parlay at the click of a button over all the books. We've built like 8-leg parlays that we're paying plus 10,000 at one spot and plus 18, or that's not fair, but probably plus 12 or 13,000. We've done a bunch of them. We've seen as high as a 30-40% discrepancy in parlay payouts. So it's important to know where you're getting your odds. Cap MMA will help you with that. We got on our odds board. You see it in the navigation, but you can stay on the odds board. We have Bellator rankings, rankings, UFC rankings. The PFL rankings are fucking stupid because it's an old bracket. I'll figure out something to do with that shit. We have the leaderboards for the UFC. They look different, but you can scroll down it or hit search on your keyboard with your keyboard, and that's all live. And I mean live. If you go over to the UFC.com and you look at it all, it'll be the same information you're getting over on our site, pretty much. Instantaneous. We stay pretty up to date. Pretty soon you'll be able to type in any fighter you want and compare them side by side. We've got a headlines area where you can get headlines from all the best sources, including Cage Side Press, which is who Cade is with over there. They're good buddies of ours. When you click headlines in the nav bar, it's real pretty. I gave them a much bigger spot. When you click it on the board, uh, MMA Fight Mag has dropped off, so it looks a little out of alignment. I'll get that headed up soon, but everything's over there. We got a few bet tools and everything we don't have. Click resources. We give you links to it. No ads, no fees, no cost, anything like that. That's all I got. Andrew, thanks for hosting tonight. You've got the best connection